Things are heating up in our game in Waterdance. We're getting close to the end.
We're going to an actual dance.
Yeah, they're actually going to dance. Dance of intrigue, dance of death, dance of the party, all kinds of things. That'd be fun. Lots of
Dance of Dragons?
Yeah, possibly. Possibly. We've got
That's a Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah. We've got a couple people currently off camera. Hopefully they will be on shortly. If not, I will stick their beautiful photo up in a moment. But for the moment, we've got fingers. There we go. We have a mic. Hey, Mike.
I'll be there in just a second.
Yeah.
Hello. I finished eating, so I'm on camera now.
Welcome on. Okay.
Wings and mashed potatoes.
I have to say, my daughter-in-law is the most wonderful cook. She really is. She's fabulous.
Daughter. I thought sure I could my mom.
Yeah, well, she's good too, but both of them are in competition to the highest degree. They're good. They're better than I am, both of them. Okay. But then I was a working mom and engineer that worked 80 hours a week, so I fed you. Your stomach was full. Shut up and sit down. We are in the Troll Skull Inn. They basically, after getting out of Castle Antervia last time, managed to talk to some of their faction leaders to get some word sent, a little bit of sleeves pulled to hopefully get the huge crowd of who's who in Waterdeep notified a bit or warned a bit that there might be something very bad going on at the party. So they tried to arrange this thing to get the message relayed to Laerl and a lot of people, when if they came right out and said, here's how we know this, they might wind up in jail for breaking and entering in several things that could have gone on. So they weren't real confident about going directly to the source, so they used their faction leaders to do it. It has now been about 3 days. The party is another 3 days away, but it is getting very close. In the interim, numerous things have been going on besides them tapping their fingers and wishing that word would come to them that somebody is taking them seriously, which is one of the big things. Upstairs in their private zone area that they have cordoned off, there's been a lot of construction going on. People have been coming and going, and the mission has been telling them that these people are part of the Black Staff's staff, that there's something going on related to that, and they have a pretty good idea that he's supposedly putting in burglar alarms or something upstairs to try and keep them safer. Exactly what's going on, they don't know, but they know that people have been busy up there, and quite likely there's changes that have been made. As you wander to and from your rooms, you see some places where they've covered up some areas on the walls and things, trying not to let people see stuff, but there's nothing really obvious that you can put together. So the first order of business tonight is, how much will Cashin be telling them about what has been going on upstairs?
Cashin will be straight up with them and say, so guys, I've been really antsy about the possibility of throats getting slit in the night, so I called in a few favors, and the Black Staff has obliged and gotten these people to help create defenses for us for the night.
Like what does that entail? Because you know what's even worse than having your throat slit in the middle of the night? Being torn apart by imps and miniature devils. So we've seen that happen. So how's that preparation going?
I didn't think they'd be so blatant. So it's mostly against, assassins, like that shapeshifter.
I think if I were one of these characters, I would be thinking from real life the number of times that I was staggering around when we had a full-fledged burglar system and I couldn't find how to get it into the standby mode and it decided to go off in the middle of the night while I'm trying to get a glass of water.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, the players are stumbling around and they're upstairs trying to go to the potty and they set off one of the traps. How's this all rigged?
All right, so Cashin will show them around and say, all right, so first things first, the windows will be covered in iron bars. That way they can't just, slide, open the windows or anything and just get in. Second thing, new locks. Much better than the ones that this place started off with. A lot more shinier and a lot tougher to break.
Had you considered that the individual we are attempting to keep out is able of altering their shape to go around and through the iron bars?
Wouldn't matter. Because,
and that would be?
well, the coup de grace is this, and he goes to his room, and he opens the door and walks in and says, now, whatever you do, and he points down at the floor, do not step on that part of the floor.
Does the floor look any different from the rest of the floor?
Wisdom saving throw.
What?
Does this part of the floor look any different from the rest of the floor?
I don't know, Madam DM.
Oh, you did the construction. I mean, did you make it to look like the rest of the floor? Or did you make some kind of rug or anything to indicate where not to step?
It will be rather inconspicuous.
All right, so they're just going to have to remember that it's like a foot inside the door and straight ahead?
Epi, was that wisdom saving throw to stop
resist the urge to step on it right as
I'm
he's
going to have to
standing
do that too. Hold on. I hope, please let me know. Dang it! I'm going to say anything above a 10 is enough to resist the urge to push him.
You can't give show the two psychopaths where the Rube Goldberg machine is and tell them not to touch it.
You're standing in front of a booby trap. Don't step in the booby trap. And what do you expect us to do?
The two chaotics are like,
I'm kind of tempted to roll as well.
Do it.
Do it.
He's gonna get a nat one. He's gonna get a
I-
nat one.
I have to roll a 3 or less because I have a +7.
You almost did.
Very wise, very wise.
Yep.
Story on my family and Mike's family. Mike's mom was one of those kids that if it said wet paint, she had to touch it to find out if it was really wet. So yes, I know the feeling.
I mean, she's a curious child.
Yep.
Anyway, Cashin says, well, if there are no volunteers, just step in and look up. And if they do, they'd see a heavy crossbow pointed at an angle downwards.
Shish kebab.
Now, you're fortunate that it is not yet armed. So,
I assume it's going to be armed.
Wait, time out. What floor is this on?
he said it was his. I said that.
It's your
I
private
said
zone.
that he went to his bedroom.
Okay, it's the second floor.
So,
Okay. I was about to say, this is on
floor.
the first floor. What the heck are our kids going to think with a giant crossbow on the ceiling?
No,
it's the third floor.
It's the second and third floor, your communal areas that you have for just you guys. The administrative areas.
I thought it was the third and fourth that was ours.
No, second is where the conference room is you guys have. And there are some bedrooms, I think, on the second floor.
Yeah.
And then there are additional ones. Come on, Morgan.
I thought the layout was basically tavern. First floor where a lot of rooms are. Second floor is where Naki Cashin and Shepard are, and then Addict was Relian and Epiphany.
Okay, so basically what I've got here, yeah, the second floor is can be accessed by anybody. No, it can't. Because you come up here, go under these stairs here. That's where the hobbit hole is that you go out to your secret area. So everything to the south of this wing can be accessed, but nothing to the north, I guess.
Yeah, essentially.
This is a communal room for guests, and this is, I think you guys were going to make like tables and things in this room.
Kind of like a check-in place.
And this, obviously, from where the door is, this is also communal, and so is this. This one over here, however, is closed off to the rest of public. It's only accessible by you. And then we go up to the third floor where start with your real bedrooms. So yeah.
Yeah, the private area. That's where Cashin has placed the majority of these defenses.
Very good.
I think... sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
This is all fine and well, but... No offense, I see a few flaws in your defenses, but if you feel better and it makes you sleep easier at night, by all means, keep it. And Nakura will just turn on heel and politely walk away.
You did not apply any such defenses to my room, did you?
Depends on how you feel.
Yeah, every person would have had a say in whether or not there were defenses in their room.
Hey, Susie, I've got a question.
What?
How much did you spend on this? Because I really hope
he didn't.
I really hope you weigh anything you don't have, because I'm going to tell you right now, I already own your soul. So
you owe nothing.
He actually didn't spend much, but renown. He is using renown to get this done.
Yeah, so what if you didn't promise away something you don't have anymore?
All right, Spellflinger. Shush. I'm
joking.
I said very clearly that I pulled some strings, and I own my soul, not you.
Yeah, just wait until you die, then we'll see.
Oh, I thought the DM owned it.
No, the dice own it.
Yeah, that's true.
Varys, you said that the time passage was about 3 days in between the Manor heist and now, correct?
Correct.
All right. In that time, Varys would have gone up to Nokri and asked if he could crash in a spare bedroom in the tavern. It didn't have to be like fully nice and put together. He just didn't want to draw attention to his dad's blacksmith shop by going in and sleeping there every night.
Yeah. You'll have like the room I'm hanging right now, which is like down here. That'll be, since no one's really using it, you can tuck away in there, since they have to go through a lot of doors to get there.
That's very true. Thank you, Nokri. I don't want to cause them any more trouble than is needed.
Until we get the matter resolved, fret not. At least you'll have a place to keep over your head.
Now, also in this interim 3 days, along with the construction in the inn, they have been frantically trying to get costumes made for the party. They've had 3 days of working on it, deciding what they were going to do, getting it to a professional, if that's what they needed, etc. And they are starting to gel on the kind of concepts that they're going to have. The theme for the party is basically God's Day, which will come about 3 days after the Misrule party. They, as I pointed out to them, they give you time to sober up and clean up the house after Misrule, because Misrule is just a scene of debauchery from one end of the town to the other, and people pulling all kinds of practical jokes and fireworks going off and all kinds of stuff. It's quite a party, but they They give you a little bit of time to sober up and get your act together before you have to be very clean and upright for God's Day. And
They give you time for the hangovers to fade.
exactly, yes.
Just to start the next one, lame.
Yep. So you have been making these costumes for the upcoming party that you realize you're going to have to get in for. They had hoped they could get in, get the keys, get out. However, one of the keys came with a little bit of a clause on it. The Holy Knight, one of the Castellander antecedents, the Holy Knight who gave it to you, Caladorn or something like that, Caladon.
Caladorn.
He said that he would give it to you only under the circumstances that you would use the armor and the mace to destroy the abomination that had taken over the house. And he basically was referring to a statue that he wanted destroyed. So you, in order to finally use this key and become attuned to it, you have to complete his demand on the artifacts. So you are now caught with having to go to this party, and that's where you stand. So is there anything else you want to handle in the interim?
Yes. I just sent you a private message over Discord. Okay, I'll just ask you outright then. I was asking if I could have used some of my renown with Melanor to get him to, like, basically to get a hold of a bunch of antitoxin vials.
You would be able to get a hold of up to 1d10 worth of vials, yes.
Okay, would you like me to roll that now?
Yes. Oh dear.
Wow.
Well, you've got one for you or one for some person who's very important.
If only you were a cleric using divine intervention.
If only I was a cleric and mirrored using divine intervention,
That's
because
the
apparently that
Saturday.
always works.
That's the Saturday game where our
Oh, wait.
esteemed cleric seems to have very good luck on his rolls with divine intervention.
Was that 1d10 or 1d100? I wasn't.
It was 1d10.
Okay.
That's the Saturday game. Right now we're in the Sunday game.
Just you wait.
Focus on the Sunday game.
Just you wait.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so Cashin would have spared little expense in making sure he has a good costume to go in disguise in. And he's being very tight-lipped about it, as he's currently shaving.
Oh my goodness. Actually going to get rid of the stubble.
Well, he needs to.
All right, so are any of you going anywhere, doing anything before we progress with other things?
Is this where we would purchase whatever we need to for the shindig, or
Any purchases, any store things, yes, would be...
Varys would actually volunteer to go with Epiphany if he was going to any sort of fabric shops.
yes, Epiphany is going to a proper tailor, but they are getting dressed for the occasion, so to speak. So
Yeah, really
Epiphany
would
goes up.
probably hop there too.
Marielle
I'll-
comes down.
I'll go with the boys.
Oh, I would also stop by Varys' dad's shop because I have to commission them a quick project, like a quick 3-day project.
Okay.
Varys would also suggest that in the interim until the party, he would suggest leaving the lead box that he had made in. Who do we think would be best kept responsible for them?
It's the party's decision. Who
That's
do you
what I'm
think
asking.
Yeah, who thinks, whose room
Because I was
would be
gonna
best?
I was gonna put the fungus, and I was gonna put the suggest anyway that we put the amulet in there so they can't be scryed on.
Well, would they have any reason to scribe for the fungus?
Not the fungus,
Well, if they're
but
I
better
mean,
to have it.
I'd rather keep them
I
separate.
I kind of feel like the safest place for each thing is like in
Separated.
somebody's sock drawer and in the cupboard. Like,
Oh, let's put it in the
Can-
outhouse.
Can we hide?
Oh,
well, let's
God.
hide the fungus in the cellar behind the wine barrels because technically there would be some kind of weird shit growing down there anyways.
we're gonna come back and then like the house will have been ransacked and it turns out the little shapeshifter thing came through and had a click adventure. You know, it's a fungus behind the thing. Click. You have achieved. Oh.
So Varys can leave the box with Cashin, and by the way, Cashin isn't going to get the supplies he needs for his dress or commission it personally, but he is going to give Varys a bag of gold and a sealed note of what costume he wants, and it's going to be 50 gold in total.
All right.
You're going all out on this.
I need to be this disguise needs to be very well put together.
Cashin probably has one of the greater incentives of the party to stick it to the Castellaners.
And he doesn't want to be made.
So he's really trying. And Nokri's been agonizing over how she's going to disguise the plate armor she got from Kalandorn. So she's been trying to figure that one out because waddling in plate armor might be a little bit obvious. So she's trying
So
to
what
disguise that.
you do is you get foam and strap it to the outside, and it's fake armor.
or sew a shirt of scales over it.
Yeah, you could get like a noble's like coat of plates, so where it's all sewn into the doublet.
Actually, I had a couple of I have a few ideas for the description, but I was actually kind of curious if the material of the actual armor, like what is it?
It would be steel.
Yeah,
Excellently
steel iron.
Okay.
high quality iron.
And yeah, some enchanted metal.
Varys, out of curiosity, would
Yes?
your family be able to disguise the type of metal this is and go for a more platinum look on it?
It can certainly be gilded. That's
Hmm.
not terribly difficult at all. Really, all it would be.
It won't add
is-
too much. It won't add too much weight to it.
Well, the thinner. Are you intending it for battle purposes or is it purely decoration?
Well, we don't want them seeing me wearing this, and she kind of just shows him a part of the armor that was taken from the knight. But I need to at least make it look like it's something else.
I will point out that in this day and time, which I consider kind of like medieval times, the technique of lacquering over metal was well known.
It could very easily be disguised. I don't know how well the lacquer would hold up if you started taking blows on it, though.
I will worry about that after the fact. It just needs to get in the door.
Then yeah, that wouldn't take too long to do at all.
Excellent. I'll go there myself with the pieces and what I need done. But thank you. I just needed to know if they were capable of doing so.
Yeah, that should be more than fine. They'll probably need the suit for about a day or so, just to.
That's fine. I'll bring it. Like I said, I'll bring it over, and we'll go together.
Excellent.
All right. So she will be going over to his place. Will you be doing then that trip separately? I'm trying to kind of gently, not getting too fine a point on it, but just kind of in general figuring out who's going where when, so we have kind of a timeline.
Well, Mama Wallet has to go with Epiphany to take care of his sweet little child's needs.
Okay, so why don't the three of you go with Epiphany since
So
I
we
thought
could
Bell and
leave.
Ebony-
There's like four of us. It was Rel, Epiphany, Varys, and Nokri.
I think
Okay.
we can leave the troll skull, stop by the blacksmith, stop by Tully because apparently Sam has something to do, and then we can go shopping.
It'll be a party day.
It's a shopping episode.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Speaking
We
of
already
which,
had
what
one
is
of these.
Shepherd? What? Since I have not heard Brett chime in on this, what is the Shepherd doing?
He's in his room.
Would the shepherd have consented to the iron bars and defense system?
Under his supervision, yes.
Okay.
As long as he's there to see it, so he knows that it's being done in good faith and it's something that he knows it can be reliable, I guess.
I'm going to knock the crap out of that door and go, have you thought about what you're doing for a costume?
I look down at what I'm wearing right now. Is this not good enough?
You're supposed to be a deity at the party, my dear, not yourself.
That is blasphemy.
Think of it as dressing up as a living homage and tribute to your deity.
To which again I say, this is not good enough.
I mean, I don't know your god, so I can't say for certain.
Epiphany pokes their head in. Calm Corpse, do you want to get in the door and assist us or not?
Do you want to get your revenge?
That too.
Thought crosses my mind, and then let me gather my things.
Come
We'll
with
meet
us.
you down-
It
we'll
shall
meet you
be a
downstairs.
party.
See, sugar scales, Epi and I know how to get to people.
I should, I try. I want to
You
know.
must
I
simply
want
find the liver that moves them.
No, you're absolutely right. I do want to try and at least have good relations with everybody in the group.
Let me go through and poll everybody. Were any defenses put in Epi's room?
Epiphany has spiders on the window. Nobody wants to crawl through spiders.
Okay.
That's
So-
his defense system.
Okay, so you feel like you have a lot of creepy crawlies in your room, and that's your defense?
Anybody going anywhere near where Epiphany layers up is probably going to be like, do I really want to go in there?
Pass.
Oh God, he's like the original depiction of Nosferatu. Like
Yeah.
vermin and insects just follow in his wake.
And when he's sleeping and he starts snoring, he's like, na 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 na.
Have any of you ever seen the original Nosferatu? I gotta say, for a Dracula ripoff, it's not a bad movie.
The original movies were creepier than
Wow.
the remakes so much. They really were.
Oh yeah.
For
Anyway.
all their corniness, they were
I
you
need
creepy.
guys
to go
laugh, but
get a
that's
pretty
true.
dress, guys. Come on.
Yeah, let's dress up.
Vampires was the last campaign. Right now we're going on a thieving adventure. Let's go.
Right now we're
Right,
dealing
but
with
anyway,
demons.
I want to go
Got
on
oceans
through.
limits.
Is the extra room that Barris is staying in, has it been in any way protected?
He's using
Question
one
is
of the.
concerned.
He's using one of the
One
spare
person at
rooms.
a time, please.
Sorry.
Cashin?
Since apparently he's using one of the second floor rooms, I'm going to say no.
All right.
Yeah, Barris would not. He does not feel like it is his room. He's borrowing it, so he doesn't have an opinion on whether or not it should be trapped.
I could have sworn that after we had the stuff with the Zentarum during the reconstruction, we at least made the second floor have bars on the windows for the safety of people.
I don't remember that.
I could have sworn
know
I'd said
anything
that, but
about
no,
bars.
don't worry about it. Yeah.
We can get
Because
that later.
we have talked a lot about there being shutters on most of the windows in here, and only the kind of gondola area and the first floor area has any windows. There's second floor where the gondola sticks out. There is a window that Cashin has been using to kind of observe the street. But other than that, and it's also on the bottom floor, those two front areas of the gondola stick out with glass. But other than that, it's all shutters. So that's, and people getting in and out of the shutters like Epiphany, has crawled out of the shutters several times and so forth. So we've made a point of the fact that it's been shutters at this point.
Yeah, he does that every morning and howls like a rooster.
And Shepard has said yes. I'm going across the boxes as I've got here to make sure that I get everybody. Shepard has said yes, so his room has some defenses on it. And what about Relian?
He would have allowed allowed the steel bars.
Okay. And Nakri?
Nakri will agree to only the bars, but a lot of her defenses is the fact that she has scrawled in some runes herself.
Okay.
Holy symbols to certain patrons.
All right. So.
Well, there'll be some spare crossbows and bolts lying around somewhere.
I am not putting one of those stupid things in my room.
Don't worry, I'll put it in the hallways.
No.
So, the four of you are going. Cashin is remaining, and so is Shepard.
Cashin needs to shave.
Shepard is going with now.
You say you are going with?
Yeah.
All right. So 5 of you are going, and Cashin is remaining. All right. So you head off for the blacksmith shop, and the 2 Genasi are in there pounding away at the thing. As usual, the Water Genasi dad is fabricating some various furniture things using more like weaving techniques sort of things, while the Forge dad is very good at the flames and the fire, being Fire Genasi, and he is working very furiously, pounding away at some kind of large pot that he's got there. So what does Varian have to say for them?
Varys walks in and says, "Dads, I'm home."
Oh, welcome home. Pick up a hammer. We got a lot of work.
Oh, okay. I can only help you for a little bit, though.
The Water Genasi, who's biologically related to Varys, kind of rolls his eyes at him and says, "Son, it seems to me you're finding an awful lot of things to do with your friends lately instead of helping us here at the blacksmith shop."
And the Water Genasi's name is Avi.
Yeah.
Mr. Avi, Mr. Embrick, how much to purchase your son?
Oh no. No.
I think what he means is that my services are required.
I want to buy you.
Our 18th personality finds him entertaining.
Yeah, Embrick especially stands up, and he is carrying a heavy forge hammer. And as you know from previous experience, Embrick has a tendency to get mad first and find out what the problem is second.
I'm going to push the peanut gallery out the door for a second.
Bye, Effie.
I'm going to push Relian back in. I find this amusing.
Stop it.
Finally.
Embrick,
I'm standing exactly where I was, and I'm looking at Embrick because Relian does not know what he said wrong.
Oh my god. Embrick, Avi, that is not what he means at all. Varys has been actually very integral into helping us in a very... how to put this correctly? Tight-lipped situation that deals with some very sensitive materials.
We got invited to the Kesslanters party.
Okay, Varys, you're not helping with that description.
Oh, I see how it is, Avi says. I see how it is. You go off to fancy nobles parties and let us do the work. Typical teenager.
Technically speaking, he's making booze. So, I mean, he's getting drunk and then going to the party.
Avi crosses his arms and says, "I don't think you're helping his case."
None of them are helping their cases. Oh my god.
Okay, look,
Okay,
Miss-
5.
look, Fire Daddy.
No, no, no more. Please stop.
Part of me
Please
wishes
don't.
Cashin.
Very
Part of me,
important.
part of me
Son
wishes
is kind of
Cashin
mixed in
was
with something
here.
very important. He's kind of gained the favor of the Open Lord, and we're on a mission for the city's well-being.
That's actually very close to the truth, yes.
Bobby is
I'm
standing
sorry.
there hitting his palm with the hammer like, and Mike just froze, so his internet's giving him fits as usual.
Oh, perfect expression to pause on.
Yeah. Just going
Hey.
like,
Doing his
I just wanna
best
say-
Kit Harington impression.
How much I'm.
he's moving really slowly. There.
Hey, I'm back.
There he is. Yay!
Of course, my internet shows right then to go out.
Right. Okay, try again.
Varys is going to say, I'm sorry I haven't been home. Things have gotten dangerous, and I don't want anything happening to either of you or the shop.
I don't want anything happening to you either, son.
Oh, I know, but you know that I'm able to take care of myself.
I certainly hope so. I don't know that I know that, but I guess I have to admit you're almost grown now. Even for Genasi, you're grown, so I guess I have to let you try. But
I
remember
promise.
you have duties as well.
I do. This is actually, if you're talking about the Enclave, this is actually involving them as well.
Oh, all right. All right. So you're working for Melanin?
Melanor, yes, he knows exactly. There's a foul plot afoot involving the party. I'm rather glad you two are not going. I don't want you in any danger. It's actually a joint operation between several of the different factions. The Enclave is only one of them. We're going there to make sure everyone is safe and nothing happens to the party guests.
You know I'm going to worry about you until you come back. This
Well, that's
sounds
perfectly
terribly,
natural. That's
terribly
perfectly natural.
dangerous.
You're the boy's father. You want him to be safe, and you want to make sure he's not, joining gangs and doing the
I
drugs
elbow
and
Relian
hanging out with
hard.
the wrong crowd.
Would you like me to roll monk damage for my elbow?
From behind, they can see a claw around Aurelian's mouth, another claw, another claw. And he's just like spider abducted back out of the room.
And
Some
Emric
of my companions are a
just
little eccentric.
looks from one to
They're
the other.
jerks.
He's
I'm
just like,
I'm just covering my eyes at this point, just shaking my head like, how could you make something so simple to be so complicated? How? Just how?
That's what we do.
I know.
Emric kind of shakes his hammer at the group of you and he goes, if he comes back injured, you're going to answer to me. Do you understand?
If he gets injured at all, they have to get through me first. But don't worry, I assure you I will bring him home in one piece.
Excellent. And you, son, when this is over, I want a full accounting of just exactly what this was about.
I can do that. I also, hopefully, after all this is over, I can spend some more time at the forge, too.
Excellent. We can certainly use the help. Now, we have jobs up the wall, but what did you come in for?
I look at Nokri. Actually, another job, but since this
Oh,
is so busy, I can
good.
actually offer my direct help with it to speed it up.
That would be wonderful. What do you need done?
I need this armor to not look like what it is. Since I believe a lot of people are going to be dressed up as beta champions or Seamorphs themselves, I was actually thinking to recustomize it, but not remove anything off it, just a facelift, so to speak, and make it look like something that is worthy of Bahamut himself.
Avi lifts several enameled ware pieces of like shields and things, and you can see that his talent is excellent. This is where he shines. after once Embrick has created the raw metal piece, he then is the one that puts the sheen on it and lacquers it to put the family crest or whatever. And you can see that he does all kinds of very beautiful lacquerware that is put onto this metal. And he says, I can do almost anything to cover metal that you want. That is my specialty.
Knocker will take out a part of the armor and kind of go over with because she likes to write out everything in notes for designing things, and then she'll offer the two to just kind of give them an idea. It's to make it look more draconic in nature.
You want it to appear like scales?
Like scales, platinum or close to it at least.
Oh, a silver color.
Yes.
Right. Very good. Do you simply want it in a chrome type of material, or do you want it actually something coated in silver?
That's actually a good question.
Phasma.
I know, right?
The silver itself will probably be a lot more expensive. As a forewarning.
Um, perhaps, if we're making the gloves look like they have claws at the end, perhaps a bit underneath the fingernails.
A bit of silver under the
Yes.
fingernails. How interesting. Well, very well.
I think for a design it would look interesting.
Oh, very well. But you don't want the entire body of it created this
No.
way? But you want it to wear a silver color scale. Well, I can do that with a chrome.
Yeah. The outfit I'm trying to do is the Platinum Dragon himself, as my actual chosen deity. Since we're supposed to be dressed as one, it goes a long way to that.
I see. I will layer a lacquer in a chrome with paint, chromed paint, and make it look like overlapping scales if you wish. And I will certainly do the gauntlets in such a way that they have silver under these claws that I will put on the end.
And how much for everything? I can pay up front.
Well, this would be with the silver. It would only be 30 gold with the regular chroming. With the silver, it would add an extra 10, of course.
That is not a problem at all. And Nakri will drop down a full 50. Tip for ahead of time.
Very good. All right, so your costume is underway. They will work on that. And is there anything Varys wants to do before the group of you head off for the other end?
He is just going to go up to Avi and Embrick each and give them a hug and say, I promise, I'll tell you what all this is about after it's done. I just don't want either of you to be in danger.
Avi nods and kind of grabs your shoulders and holds you half at arm's length and just says, take care of yourself, son. I didn't bring you here to Waterdeep to have you killed.
I'm not going to be, if I have anything to say about it.
Well, none of us ever know when it's coming, so just be careful.
I will.
And he nods and pats you heartily on the shoulder. Give him heck.
How many of you are still in the shop? I know Epi dragged Rel out.
At this point, I think we all just left.
No, but I mean like after.
It would have been Nakri and Shepard and Varys, and then they were leaving when Avi grabbed Varys.
All right. So as you guys are turning to leave, you would see Aurelian's head like in the doorway, watching this family interaction. He's completely silent, but you notice his eyes are a very, very deep shade of blue before he quickly ducks his head back in. That's not meant to be funny.
The last thing Varys will do is something that they actually used to do a lot when Varys was helping out commonly at the Forge, is they would keep smaller barrels or other containers of water nearby, and Varys will look at these and just use shape water on them to turn them into ice to try to help cool the shop down a little bit.
We needed those for tempering.
No, I
Someone, what
specifically
did you
said
do?
other smaller ones, not the big tempering barrel.
Okay. He will appreciate that. And you guys head off for the clothier, I assume.
Epiphany wants the nicest clothier.
Very well.
As we had left, I would have put a hand on Varys' shoulder. Speaking as a father myself, I can tell that your fathers are very...
Lost that last word. Repeat the last word.
Speaking as a father myself, I can tell that both of your fathers are very proud of you.
I'm proud of them too.
Really?
That's why I want to make sure they don't come to any harm.
That is fine.
My apologies if it comes over my microphone. My husband has had massive allergies the last 3 days. And
Oh,
when
preach.
when he sneezes, the whole house shakes. So,
I hear ya.
Dad sneezes.
so
Varys.
I apologize if the sneezes come over the mic.
I don't hear anything.
Varys.
Yes?
Your fathers love you very much.
Yes,
You're lucky to have them, you know.
I am.
You
He
should
doesn't.
consume them and take your strength into their.
No,
into your
I
soul.
don't think that's
That's
how
what-
normal people respond to their family.
What?
No.
What?
I
Epiphany
appreciate
keeps
the
his whole,
sentiment.
Epiphany keeps his whole family in his mind. He doesn't see anything wrong with that.
If you do fall in battle, I will consume your mind so that you may say goodbye to them.
That okay? Maybe.
It's about as sweet as they get.
Wow.
Placing a hand on Varys' shoulder, he would say, Epi's very heartwarming and sweet words aside, he's saying that genuinely.
No, I know.
Appreciate the time you have with your fathers. Some people would kill for that, and he would just start walking with Epi towards the clothiers.
Very good.
And
Alright.
as they go, Epiphany is going to duck into an alley, shift into Marielle with Alter Self, and then take out a cord that they brought with them and kind of tie off the tarp cloak thing.
I thought he was wearing the nice
fancy cloak. Yeah, he's wearing the fancy cloak. You know, so
the
fancy
deep
tarp.
purple one.
they tie off the deep purple cloak into kind of like what works for some sort of really trashy clothing.
Some risque clothing, let's call it.
Yeah, let's go with that. All right, let's.
Did
get ready.
anyone ever tell you it's rude to change in public, my dear?
It's not my fault they can't keep their eyes off me. Let's go.
All right.
And so
The group of
yeah,
you go
so-
to the clothiers.
Marielle gets in there, and essentially what she's ordering is what could work kind of in this same sort of way, but for but to look like kind of to match her hair.
All right.
So like any wrappings underneath and around her, kind of everything just sort of drapes around like the hair is just continuing down. Essentially, she as she describes it, she's explaining that her patron deity is Elestrei, which is the one good drow god. And her presentation is she's got this huge ass sword and hair, and that's about it.
So she's basically, I'm drawing a blank, the gal who rode the horse through town with
Godiva?
Lady
that.
Godiva.
Yeah.
She's basically
Yeah, it's
Godiva
Lady Godiva with a big sword.
Okay, very good. All right, so, and he very prissy clothier, who's measuring everybody, doing everything very carefully, and he goes, "Oh my, well, that's somewhat disturbing, but may I have a sample of your hair?"
Sure.
Thank you.
Watches it fizzle away.
I have no idea if it stays the same or not.
Right. It probably will disappear once you've gone, but he'll look at it and he'll kind of stretch it and go, "I'll try to find a fur that is approximately the same color. Is it red?"
It's white.
White.
It's like silver.
Yeah, drow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Perhaps one of the polar animals would do for this. We'll see what we can do. I think I
That
might
would help
be
with
able,
the breeze.
I have a furrier that supplies some of the things, usually for the fur collars and things that I produce. I don't usually make an entire outfit of it, but of course this would be quite expensive to have this much fur. Is this what you had in mind?
That's exactly what I had.
Excellent, yes. Excellent, yes. I will make an excellent fur costume for you for the ball. I hope you absolutely wow them with your presentation.
The looser, the better.
Very well, very well. We'll make it draped so that it looks like the tresses are flowing in the breeze, shall we say?
Perfect. And how much is that going to run me?
With an entire fur on the thing, yeah, you're probably going to run a good 40 over the basics. So you're probably looking at 60, yeah.
Okay, yeah, happy you'll drop 60 on it.
And
Ow.
Cashin.
Sorry.
And Cashin, what were you thinking with what kind of clothing? You don't have to say what god you're trying to imitate, but what kind of clothing did you want Varys to relay to you?
The note would specify that he would need a blonde wig, some red and gold, some red silk and with some gold filigree to it, and a cloth of gold thing over it.
This is for a woman's dress, I take it, and women's tresses?
I would certainly hope not.
No.
Oh no, I hope so.
I mean,
That'd be
Cashin's
absolutely
not there,
amazing.
but the tailor's asking Varys.
Yeah, so, but
He's
I'm
No,
asking Cashin.
Okay, yeah.
Was Cashin trying to imitate the tresses of a woman or the tresses of a man?
a woman.
All right, so a long wig to indicate that. Excellent. And will there be since this is for the grand party, is there going to be a gold mask associated with it? Did Cashin specify?
Cashin wasn't aware that masks were involved.
It's a masquerade ball.
Oh, that is true.
Does that bump my price up any?
There would be there would be a gold mask.
Very well. Excellent. Oh, yes, this money will cover it very nicely. Thank you very much. Oh, this is I hope you mention where you got these costumes when you're at the ball. These are going to be the absolute rage of Waterdeep, I tell you.
What is the name of this shop again?
The Gold Raiment, of course.
The Gold Rainer. Got it.
Raiment.
Got it. And then for me personally, I need a lot of fabric, not necessarily. You could make it, but I have some very specific things in mind. Here, give my and he'll do all the measurement stuff. What Varys wants is alternating light blue, dark blue, light green, dark green. So it would basically what he wants is sort of like a skirt, almost, but it wrappings around his legs that make it look like ocean moving as he's walking.
Kind of a flowing diaphanous gown that looks like the motion of the waves. Oh, that the dyers will have
Except
just wonderful time with this.
he wants the back of it to be longer and designed to almost like a. He wants it to clip, not to clip, but be able to attach to something about right here and then fall down into the rest of the raiments around his waist and such.
Kind of a spaghetti strap, or what?
Yeah, except it's not a full. Basically, what it's going for is I'm going to have a separate part of this that I have to go somewhere else to get. But he wants the actual clothing part to be around his legs, and then he wants to come up around his back.
Okay. All right. So a little bit of stiffening so it can kind of hold its own weight a bit.
No, it doesn't need to hold its own weight. It's going to be supported by something else.
Oh, excellent. So it will flow down in a watery fashion, almost like
Exactly.
a waterfall cascade. Oh, that will be elegant, I tell you. Just elegant. Oh, your costumes will be the talk of the town, I tell you. Just the talk of the town. And he turns to Shepherd, and he kind of looks up and down at your shepherd's robes and goes, "And can I do something for you, Shepherd?"
I would look at Nagri. I only have 20 gold. Person, I don't think I can afford
Let's.
here.
Well, if you have something in mind, let him know, and we'll see what we can do about the cost.
Indeed, my dear. Just have a little fun.
Very
I can
well.
also help pay. Oh, how much does the would that be a minimum 20 gold, or would that be a little bit extra for the fabric?
That would be pretty much minimal. You aren't getting
Okay.
any extra gilt or anything on it, so that would be your 20 gold basic fee.
Very well. I will see about a button-up shirt, white in color, a vest made of silk-colored turquoise, tan pants. And for the mask, it doesn't have to be actual gold, but I would prefer to have 3 turquoise gems embedded in.
Oh, well, that would be quite reasonable, save for the gems, which will run you an extra 10 gold. That would only be a total of 30 altogether.
Thank you.
Oh, are we able to purchase gems and such here?
Well, I have various semi-precious gems, which I use in the decoration of some of the finer gowns. Since he's only needing 3, it would not run an exorbitant amount. Did you require gems added to yours?
Not to my raiment. Something I was going to make something else myself, with some unconventional materials, but I would need quite an amount of pearls to do so.
Oh, well, pearls are considerably more expensive, sir. It takes quite a bit to get them, even here in a seaside city. They are 10 gold apiece for such things. Some of the most wealthy in town might make an entire bodice with pearls on it, and it will cost them many thousands of gold to do so.
And then one other detail, sir.
Yes, sir.
On the right breast of the silk vest, and I'll pull out a gold coin and hand it to him. Could you embroider that design? And it'll be a design of Timora, the goddess of...
All right, very good. And he says, "Why, of course, I will embroider her symbol. That would be excellent. Oh, I do. Is there anything I can do for you, madame?" And he points to Nokri.
Yes, actually, I need something that would fit partially over plate armor, but at the same time add a little bit extra. And she'll start basically just handing paper of the kind of design for the cloak to look like a set of wings, and then just kind of like a tabard to fit over everything to help hide parts of the chest and whatnot, of the actual plate armor and whatnot. And so it's like the cloak, you know.
A grun cloak, yes, a full cloak that can be pulled over your armor. Do you need it to be able to be thrown back, or a hood on it?
If the hood can also incorporate the mask. Unfortunately, my scales are a bit darker than what's needed, but I need to at least disguise part of it in a silverish platinum look. It's not easy trying to become Bahamut himself, but you do the best you can.
And are you intending to weave silver into the material? And he stands there and he thinks, let's see, if you don't want silver itself, silver thread, of course, is quite expensive, but you
Of
can
course.
interweave silver and give an almost completely silvery material. However, we have certain shattered gems that are of a silvery nature, and we could possibly affix them to the outer surface of it. You are talking a great deal of material, however, when you're talking silver or large quantities of gems. It is a very difficult thing to make a cloth appear silvery, even with my best abilities.
Hmm.
I could make it gray, obviously, and even a kind of a shimmer to it, but to make it truly silver is very, very difficult and expensive.
No, I can answer. If we went that route, exactly how much are you talking about?
For the silver woven into the cape or the gems applied to it?
The perhaps the gems could be applied to at least the face part, sort of like small adornments, and it could be very few. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just
Oh,
has to give the it just has to give the appearance.
a kind of a rhinestone effect, perhaps? A kind
Perhaps.
of occasional glitter on the gray material to give the illusion of silver scales. Now
That way, if the
I
light
might be
catches.
able to do.
That way, if the light catches, yes.
Yes, I could stitch small little pieces of tinned metal in such a way that were be polished and would glitter, and there would be little pieces of gems. That would, however, the cloak alone, my lady, would probably run you 30 gold.
And then everything else, including the at least partial of the face adornment. I think I'll.
Well, including yes, the hood, yes.
That's not the problem.
Very well, madame. You will have it with you, and I assume you need it within the next 2 days, since the party is at just 3.
Unfortunately, much like them, yes. And you said it would be about 30, even with everything?
Yes, to have the hood that will partially cover your face and to have the glittering cape, yes.
And then she'll point at Epiphany and Shepherd, and their costs as well. I'm curious.
Yes, sir. And he points at Relian and how he kind of looks you up and down and kind of bends his head down and tries to look under your hood, and he goes,
Relian's eyes flash gold very brightly for a quick second.
and he just kind of backs up and he goes, will I need to take your measurements, sir?
That won't be necessary. Here you go. This is everything I need. He puts down a slip of paper, and on it is his measurements and a list of all the clothing items and the color they have to be in on it. And I wasn't aware you sold masks here, but add in a silver half mask in with this as well, and if possible, one with deep set eyes.
True silver, sir, or simply a silver color?
How much is a pure silver?
Oh, pure silver mask. We have actually gold and silver for some of the nobles actually in stock because we knew the party was coming. And the silver masks will run you only 15 gold, whereas the gold mask will run you 30.
I'll splurge. Yeah, an authentic silver half mask. Allow my mouth and nose to breathe somewhat, but I want the entire upper part of my face obscured, please.
Very well, sir. Very well. It will be included with the thing, with the additional, and this list contains no special gems or extra adornments of this time, merely cloth and that sort.
decent cloth. The shirt and the cloak, silk if possible. The vest and the trousers, simply a sturdy material, but elegant, if you please.
Well,
And the boots, as you can clearly see here, pointy toes, classic wizard boots, please.
very good. Oh, that will be most elegant, yes. All right, so how fine a grain of leather do you wish for the boots? Or do you wish them from cloth?
Oh, leather, definitely. I have a feeling I'm going to be on my feet for a good portion of that day. Let's say, how much is your finest grain?
Well, the entire outfit with the finest grain, and as you have described with silk, will run you 40 gold for the entire thing. And that DM speaking here, not in addition to the 20. That's 20 on top of the 20.
Tell you what, I'll give you 50 if you can guarantee that my order, as well as the order of my very good friends here, will be done in a timely manner.
I can guarantee it. I have extra hands, which I call on when there are large parties, and they come in, and we will simply work through the night, if need be, in order to provide these things.
Real quick, he was mentioning hair before. They do sell wigs here, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, then that would be on the list. Okay,
And
so he reaches into his...
The wigs are not, it's not like a couture type of thing. These are garments that are intended to be costumes, and so it's fake fur and this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So he reaches into his face and pulls out a small pouch of 50 gold and puts it on the table. Here you are, my good sir.
Excellent, excellent. Oh, I'm just so thrilled. And you will tell them where you got it, right?
The golden raiment. Look for the very excitable but very talented man.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Oh, I'm going to be the talk of the town. I just know it. I just know it. You're going to be so thrilled with what
you and us both, buddy. You and us both.
I have two other things. One is, I'll just ask for pockets on the inside of my clothes.
Oh, of
pockets
course,
are
sir.
essential.
Oh, of course, sir. I mean, everyone needs pockets for their house key or whatever. We need to put at least one pocket on the inside so that you're not having to carry around your traveling bag.
That is, yeah. And then the second thing is, would Varys know if to go to a masquerade ball, face paint is an acceptable alternative to an actual mask?
I would say at this party, yes, it is.
Okay.
The idea simply being to disguise a bit who you are and to try to take on the persona of a deity, demi-deity, or deity associate that's well known.
Okay.
All right.
So as they leave, Marielle lingers a bit, looks around, sees all of the stuff on display. I think I'll have to come here more often. And she locks eyes with the person and tries to enslave him.
Oh boy.
Are you actually going to roll?
Yeah, that's a DC 14 whiz save from that person, or be magically charmed by Golor until Golor dies or is on a different plane of existence or more than a mile away for a day. Gotta get that friend discount. It's more fun to use it this way than to be like, okay, boss.
Yeah.
So, is it strange or a bad sign that I completely expected this and I'm 100% okay with it?
Yeah, I was expecting something like this to happen.
And you said wisdom save?
DC 14 wisdom, yeah.
Oh my god.
10. He's a
10.
shopkeeper.
10,
Roll
yep,
And
cool.
there we go.
I got a cloth here in my pocket.
You can sew in pockets in your dress.
So, crazy question. Crazy.
And, does your illusion break if it's touched?
No, it's alter self, not.
All right.
Yeah.
Because
Epiphany is
reaches
physically
out-
Marielle.
He reaches out and just blinks into your eyes and gets lost in the deep pools of emerald or whatever your eyes are, and tries to touch
Just
your face.
totally blood purple
Oh,
and red,
okay.
just streaks and
Nice.
everything. It's great.
What lovely violet eyes you have. I hope you return soon, my dear. I would love to clothe you in beauty.
I look at Epiphany.
And she kisses his forehead and leaves.
And he is just looking at her starstruck as she leaves the
And
shop.
Epiphany skips out, looks over. Mariel looks over at the shepherd and says, "What?"
Oh my god. Crazy. Just a quick question, Madam DM. I just want to know how much was Shepard's take. I know mine was like 40.
Mine was 30.
So okay, so 70. All right.
I've got a
70
question.
minus that because Epiphany threw in. So okay, I got like 40 gold left.
I'll
I've got a
drop it.
question.
I'll drop
A lot
in one of
of
the platinum
mind.
from my take, creeper.
Okay. A lot of mind spells have the caveat that once the spell ends, the creature knows they've been messed with. Does
Yes.
Golor's effect have that
This
caveat?
This is not a mind spell.
Okay.
This is way worse.
Yeah.
God.
Just making sure.
Way worse.
Because
I can also like
if
I
that
think I can
spell
tell-
ever
I think-
ends,
I think I can tell it's not a spell.
It's an effect, not a spell.
It's not a spell.
oh god, it's an ability.
Yeah. Golor
There's a reason I only
had-
use it for this stuff.
Yeah.
It's only fun.
You
It's this
did-
stuff. If I were to be like, oh hey, cool, it's like a boss. That's not
You
fun.
did say that it only lasted until Golor went away.
Yeah, if Golor is more than a mile away from them for a day, they can save every day to liberate themselves from it. But there's no like, they're just like, oh, that was weird.
Which is why Epi has been taking walks down to the bay every day for the last 3 days.
Yeah. Talking with our little friend down in the water, who first when you interrupted, which like I told you, he was like 2,563, 2,564, 2,500. What? What do you want? You just want to know how I am? I'm fine. Don't bother
no,
me.
I forgot about that part. Okay, yeah, there's a way worse part of it.
Wait. What? Where was I? 1,
Oh, if
Oh,
it takes
wow,
damage, they
poor
can
thing.
save too.
3, 4.
What is
Down
this?
by the bay,
Oh, yeah.
where the dragons go.
Yeah.
Le-
He's like been counting his gold, and you interrupted him, and he lost count.
Oh,
Nokri
we were
said,
simply
"Do not
asking how you were
go."
doing.
Yes. Well, I lost track of my count. I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. I'm glad you cared, but I've got to count this.
Stay busy, my friend.
Yes, I do. I keep getting more gold out of sunken ships. It's been fun.
Perfect.
All
Hey,
righty.
Oh
hold
my
on,
God.
I've got to do this. Hey, buddy, I'm shouting down into the water, hoping he can hear me. Whenever you get old enough to have minions, send them out into cities. There are these things called wishing wells. People throw money into them.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So when you're old enough and experienced enough to have like minions who can go into society without causing a stir, just send them in to rob wells. It's going to be more profitable than you think.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. Why, thank you very much. I thought ships were good sources. You are my friend.
Oh my god.
Stop trying to steal our minions.
Relian will
So
just like
weird.
slowly lower his sleeve to reveal a hint of scales, and he said, "Yes, I am."
So we are done with the clothier.
Yeah.
You're back on track. The last two things Varys needs to do is he needs to take a stop by the docks
All right.
and he is
And
going to
at
try to
this
find
time
someplace
is where
that
the
dies in flames.
conversation with the dragon might have taken
Yep.
place. All right. So, and what are you doing at the docks? Did you say?
He is buying fresh rope, like high quality, not silk rope. It's hempen, but it's very obviously new rope, not frayed, worn, anything like that.
There
And
are
he's tossing it in the ocean.
There are marine supply, quite a few of them, quite actually, along the whole row facing the dock. There are ship supplies, marine supplies of all kinds. You can get, even pre-made tillers and things that can be gotten at these shops. So yes, there are huge bins full of coils of rope. So you're buying a 50-foot coil of rope, I take it?
He'll buy a 50-foot coil of rope, and then he will toss it in the ocean. And he's just going to let it sit for about a day.
You could just save time by just throwing your coin into the ocean instead.
Well, this has a purpose, Shepard. Or Imriel. Do you prefer me to call you Shepard or Imriel?
It does not matter.
This has a purpose, Imriel. That's weird. I'm going to call you Shepard.
He's throwing rope into the sea. It makes perfect sense to me.
That's because you're insane.
Varys is OOCly going to come back the next day, get the rope out of the water. Use shape water to take the water out, but the salt will be stuck in the rope, so that it actually smells like the ocean.
Oh, clever. Oh.
Okay. And
That's what you did there.
The THB will have the cost of 50 feet of rope in it.
For 50 feet, I think it's 10 gold. No, 50 feet of hemp is 5 gold. 50 feet of silk is 10 gold.
Yeah, it's not 10 gold. It's cheaper stuff than that. All right, so you'll need to reduce your remainder, which brings us, unless others have business that they want to do outside the inn, I'll check with that.
On our way back to the Troll Skull, Rel would pop by Tully's and commission the last part of his costume.
Actually, question: would they have heard any of the talk about the recent incident at the docks?
Regarding the dragon?
No, regarding a certain someone.
Regarding the death?
Yes.
The guy that Cashin killed?
In cold blood?
Oh, yeah!
For his boots?
Oh! Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that would have, they probably have heard that. If anybody struck up a conversation about it, it was considered to have been some kind of crime lord or something you see, what's going on right now in the town is this crime spree and faction war. And bodies are turning up almost daily from one side or another. And a lot of it, if they can't identify the person or know who's involved, they are written off to another one of the victims of the crime lord war.
And Cashin would have, and as I said during that session, Cashin would have made it look like it was the Xanathar's guild.
Right, exactly. So,
I mean, technically speaking, that's not too far off from what actually happened to the poor schmuck.
Yeah, I mean, he was a criminal, and he was involved in things, and he was a known criminal who had gotten back into town illegally. Therefore, there wasn't. It was only marked in passing, and it's a little bit of the gossip. Oh, another one of these criminals has been found tucked in an alley somewhere. But since you were doing it for Waterdeep, this is not a crime that would have been on the books to say. He would have been tossed verbally in with all the criminals that are winding up with a dagger stuck in their back.
Mm-hmm.
The ye olde times, back when murder was much easier to get away with than it is today.
Especially when you're down in the scuzzy part of town and it's just the streetwalkers and the criminals wound up dead and they were not considered worthwhile people. And so it was kind of like they would do a half-hearted attempt to see if anybody saw anything. Nope, nobody saw anything. That's why Jack the Ripper got away with things for so long. Because they were not the people that he killed were not people that anybody really cared about. And this is kind of what you have encountered. He was a person who was on the books as a criminal, was in the city illegally, and therefore they were like, oh, somebody finally got to him. Okay, on to the next case.
Yeah, but I
That
think
is just desserts.
I think it would have caused a little stir that the Xanathars basically made it very clear that they were the ones responsible.
There, in certain circles, if you were down in the area where the Xanathar Guild is more the faction, there would be talk in that section of irritation on the Xanathar's part that someone had pinned the crime on them. But because he was also working between the cracks for them and they knew he was this shifty character, their attitude is kind of like, okay, he failed at his tasks, he didn't live up to what he needed, let's find somebody who's a better quality criminal for us. So it's...
And this has been your history lesson today.
Yeah. So, yes, some of the Xanathars are a little upset that it's been pinned on them, but nobody's coming after them. Nobody is doing a big investigation. They aren't endangered because of it, and they lost an individual who was actually, in fact, working for them. And they're a little PO'd about the fact that they lost one of their people, but they've been losing a lot of their people lately. So he is just...
They are not losing the war. They are losing the war.
Yeah, they have not been coming out on top on this. So it's been very common that their spies and what have you are... That's a fascinating picture. They have been showing up dead, and it's just kind of been business as usual lately. It really has.
That image looks inappropriate for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm just like...
What the hell is that?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I
sent you...
wearing
it's a hat. No, it's a hat.
Yeah, it's the inside of the hat.
It looks like the gladiators wear a harness to me. Anyway.
You don't want me to tell you what it looks like to me.
I sent you a GM message.
Keep it polite, guys.
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping silent.
Oh yeah, I mean they would have things that are only partially finished, so it would just look like a prop.
Yeah, basically he just wants something that looks like a prop sword that that the guards aren't going to be like, that can't come in.
Right. There are going to be a lot of people carrying papier-mâché swords and various things into the house.
Worst case scenario, whack!
There will be guards checking things over for various reasons, but they probably will test the metal and find out it's kind of cheap metal and wouldn't hold up against a shield very well, and so they'll probably allow it in.
Yeah, just something that has a prop look to it.
Very good. All right, so you return to the Troll Skull and put down any packages that you have reclaimed, and Leaf goes over, and it is now mid-afternoon, and I guess it's just before noon, because you've also got the clock incident that's going to be occurring today. But she says, do we need to do the accounting for the inn for the 10-day? Do you wish to do it after the clock ceremony, or do you wish to do it prior? Lady Nakri?
I mean, the clock ceremony might bring in some business.
Sorry, I just got a weird message. Could you repeat that one more time? My apologies.
We have the clock ceremony at noon, and we also have to do the accounting for the inn for the 10-day. Do you wish to do the accounting after or before the clock ceremony? It is getting close to noon.
If we have the time, let us do the accounting real quick, if it won't take long, and then I will proceed over to where the ceremony is.
Oh, excellent.
And Cashin comes down freshly shaven.
He is looking sharp.
Who are you?
Sober and clean shaven. Oh my God, the world's coming to an end.
I am your father, Relian. I am
Relian.
disappointed in you.
You should consume him and take his power into yourself.
Relian reaches into his sleeve and pulls out his curved dagger. We've been infiltrated! Sorry.
So is Cashin with pride or a little bit ashamed?
Oh, Cashin just looks normal. He doesn't look proud or shameful.
Very good.
But he is rubbing his face a lot because it's been a long time since his face has been smooth.
After the clock ceremony, I will ask you a few questions so you can be thinking about it during the clock ceremony. One is during the 3 days and the prior 7 where you were quite busy, actually, things going on. You had every day pretty filled with activities, but you had some downtime in there. How much time did each of you spend helping with repairs, oiling hinges, doing cooking, whatever? I'm going to need a number from you of how many hours or days total you think that you spent actually working for the Troll Skull Inn personally. You personally. Don't give it to me. Don't give it to me now. I want you to be writing that down while we're doing the ceremony. The second question I'll be in, this will be aimed a bit more at Nakri and those that were handling it. How much will you have spent on additional advertising during this 10-day period of time? You had spent 30 gold on advertising for the previous period. I need to know how much you were spending on it for this period. So those are the 2 numbers that I will need from you after we complete the clock ceremony that will be going on.
Yeah, you keep throwing. How many days exactly from the last time you did this?
It was only for a day or so, and that was 30 gold at that time. So, but don't give me numbers right now. We're going to go on with the clock ceremony. But
sorry. I was just trying to figure out.
I just want to let you know that these are questions that I will be asking you, so I'm not dropping them on you just suddenly, where you don't like, oh God, I didn't think about that. So we will be doing that. So you basically are going to be going out. I assume you're dressed reasonably well, each of you, because Laerl and her entourage will be coming for the clock laying ceremony, along with Valletta, Nim, actually, who is in her entourage, Valletta's entourage, and Indigo, who is also with him. They're a thing now. They both work at the Temple of Gond, and they are kind of becoming a thing at the temple. People go to the temple to see them. They are an attraction, a tourist attraction.
Do they dance together?
Yes, they are programmed to do dancing, and they can do dancing. However, their primary thing that they do, outside of some entertainment programming, they are not really a Nimblewright like the one that was in the Castle Interview that is programmed specifically for entertainment. They are actually semi-intelligent beings, sentient beings, and they are actually Nim has actually been cleared to be tested for an acolyte status at the Temple of Gond, the Temple of Inspired Hands.
Yay.
So he has finally been cleared for potential as an acolyte. So he has been doing a lot of projects to submit for his submission projects that he has to turn in to show that he is a qualified candidate for acolyte. So he's been doing a lot of that. And Indigo has been at his right hand throughout all of this. She's also quite intelligent. But Valletta, Nim, Indigo, and a couple of other acolytes show up with their part of the presentation. Let's see, did Nakri have the clock, or did Valletta keep it?
I think it was handed over to Valletta to fine-tune the mechanics for the facing, and that would be the last part that would have been needed to put. I guess like the framework is already there; it just needs to be installed.
Very good. And the street, the repairs have been done to the street. It's all well done, except the dimensions were sent over of exactly how this clock would be formed and what it would do. And so there is a hole in the middle of the street. I see. Is it on the sidewalk or on the middle of the street?
It would be like more towards the sidewalk, like not directly in the street, so it gets in the way, but like just enough that people can. It like sticks out a little bit further from a building, but like not that it would get anyone's major way.
But it's not so that horses and wagons
Yeah,
and
no,
things would
yeah.
be running
No,
over.
it's not like a traffic light.
Well, I figured it'd be flat
Yeah.
pretty much with some kind of clear coating on it, but it's not going to be where traffic runs over it. It's going to be off to the side a bit.
Yeah, it'll be off to the side, kind of like if you've ever seen like a slight stone pillar that has like that angle on it, like a placard, almost like a placard type thing.
Very good.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's like it's at an angle so people can see it from all around as they're walking by it and stuff.
Very good. The clock that they bring, I'm getting it on the screen, so give me just a moment. I'm pulling it up at the moment so that it can be displayed, so you can see what it's like. It'll be covering the troll skull here in a moment. The clock is quite elaborate. It has phases of the moon. It has all kinds of things, and it has 12 numbers around the edge, each with a name of a person who died. There were 12 people who died in the explosion. And so they are each remembered at one position of the clock hand on them. There is a symbol or image that indicates one of them on each one of the things. And then there is this like astronomical moon dial that rotates around inside of it with the clock hands on top of it, ticking the hours over it, while this moon dial also rotates behind, indicating astrological signs and portents. So it's quite an elaborate geared.
Which hour is dedicated to Halder?
Yes, Heldar.
Heldar.
At Nokri's insistence, it is the noon position.
Or midnight.
Well, the 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, so it did not, in other words...
Elder clock.
Yeah, they didn't make it a 24-hour clock because there were only 12 people, so it's it's a 12-hour clock, so they just, the 12 o'clock position is dedicated to Haldor, and then each of these other people are dedicated around the edges. And Laeral Valletta proudly unwraps, she has it in some very beautiful wrappings, cloth wrappings, and she unwraps it and presents the clock to Laeral. And Laeral proceeds to like mage hand it over to the position where it's to go into, and she holds it above, just holds it suspended for a moment with this mage hand as the ceremony progresses, and she will turn at one point after she makes her pronouncement about the that we will remember proudly the citizens of Waterdeep who gave their lives in the war between the factions, and goes on all these things. And then she will turn to Nokri, give a little bit of a applause to Nokri for commissioning the clock and for her work in doing this, and will ask Nokri for a few words on her behalf regarding the clock. What will Nokri say?
She'll give somewhat inspiring speech about how those of the area come together through hardships and whatnot, how neighbors can look out for one another, how this tragedy should not be the defining point of sadness, but for inspiration to keep coming together and helping their fellows type deal. And then leave it just kind of make it like an inspiring like hope for the tomorrow.
At this point, when you finish your speech, they are starting to set the clock in, and Indigo steps forward. Nim kind of grabs her arm and, like, you shouldn't be doing this, and she kind of gives him a motion like it's all right. And she steps forward to the clock and kind of lays her hand on it, and she gives some of those hand signals to Valletta that are their communication because they can't actually speak in actual speech. She gives her hand signals to Valletta, and Valletta steps up beside her and says, Indigo wishes to put her own love onto this thing, her own caring onto this clock, and hopes it will remain here for many years because she is, as best as she can feel, she is ashamed of her part in causing what happened here.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you guys forget about that?
No.
No, I did not forget about it at all.
No, it's just it's the fact that she.
Timing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a public announcement that that she's responsible.
Mm.
And it looks as if Valletta somewhat expected this. And she just kind of nods like she did it, and she looks at Laerl, and Laerl nods back. And she says, it is at this moment that we recognize that in all of their beauty, clockworks can also be a danger to us all, and we must remember this and keep a close eye, Valletta, from now forth, on anything that is of such great value. We recognize that Nim and Indigo are of great value to the city, with a whole new study which has opened up both for them themselves and for us as we see how they grow in their new roles. But we must never, as citizens, allow a clockwork to have so much power that it could destroy the citizens. We all look around, and she kind of waves her hand around the city. We all know of the great statues that line our various boulevards and the myth that they can come to life should they be needed by the city. They wield great destruction, and we respect this. But we do not use it without grave consequences and grave thought before we do. You, Nim, and you, Indigo, must be very careful in your own thoughts, that you as well recognize when you are being used for purposes that are incorrect. And she'll smile at the two of them, and Nim will kind of look at Indigo for a moment, and Indigo will look back and kind of tip her head like she's kind of glad for what they said.
Being as old as the shepherd is, 102 years old, is there anything I can roll to know if the statues are a myth?
I would say it would be a difficult DC because it would be back when you were probably very young.
Okay.
But there would be a DC if you rolled history on me. It would probably be because of your youth, but because of who you are, the youth would be a little less affecting the memory. I would say probably a DC 17.
Hey.
When Shepard was very, very young, and I assume he's been in the city his whole life,
Yep, born and raised.
he remembers the people of the city still talking about the war that had occurred with the Wizards' War and the fact that all the statues came to life and fought for the city. They were commanded by the Wizard's Tower to come alive. The Blackstaff himself, the Blackstaff, commanded them to come alive.
Okay. So when that little bit was happening, I would just whisper over to Nagri, it's not a myth.
After I'll play that fun poker face, including her not surprised at the admission by the Nimblewright. She'll just look at it like, huh, fancy that surprise. But kind of inwardly, she kind of knew.
Relian is looking at the statues in a new light, and he whispers to Epi, Epi, how do you steal a statue that big?
And for
No,
viewers,
it's-
if you don't know Waterdeep history, these statues are so big that people have built entire sections of the city underneath them. One fallen statue is actually kind of the roof, the leaning roof for a whole section of apartments that have been built underneath it. These are huge.
My question stands.
Epiphany's only response is, how many are there?
7, I think.
Be able to see them.
It would take 3 days.
Would Cashin know about all this? Would know the number of statues?
He would know the number of statues. I don't offhand. I can't remember the exact number. You can look it up, but it's. I know it's on the
Cashin would
internet.
remember that there were 8 in total, though the eighth
One
one
has been destroyed.
was destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah, the 8th one was destroyed. The Sword Maiden,
Yeah.
here in the North Ward.
Yeah, there's only a portion of her, like her legs and so forth, remaining, and then there's metal around the edges that have been used as part of the construction that is said to have come from the statue when it was destroyed, yes. So the statues are quite apparent. They are, I'm going to swap the ribbon over for a moment. You can actually see them marked on the map around the city. These large, I'm going to zoom out, these large dots with names by them. Yes, the Sahagin.
That's what those are.
Yes, the Shield Maiden, Sword Maiden, the Great Drunkard. There's one about
The
Wind
God Catcher.
Yes, all of these are huge statues that stand around the city, towering statues, at least the size of the Statue of Liberty, if not larger. Very giant bronze statues that are supposed to be clockwork kind of constructions that can come to life. And they were used, yes, the lore states that they were used in the defense of the city during the Great War. So no one of normal age has seen it or heard anyone talking about it, because this dates back a couple of centuries, but certainly Shepard would overlap people who had seen it and would be telling it like, this is what I saw and this is what happened. So that's why I'm saying he remembers this being talked about. So yeah, that's what those are, is the 7 or 8 statues that are around the city. The Griffin, all of them. They're all once honorable knight. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Hawkman, there's a lot of them. But
Yeah.
that's what those starred markers are around the city. All right. So the whole ceremony of this thing takes. They do a lot of falderall and trumpet fair, and there's a lot of people around and so forth. And all the politicians step up and want to have their little bit of say so that they get their notoriety, so that everybody knows who they are when they vote for them, kind of thing. Their camera moment, if there were cameras. And they all step up and do their piece. So the ceremony as a whole takes pretty much the entire noon hour, and the Troll Skull has been blocked during this ceremony, but there are a lot of people getting very thirsty and hungry. It is, as I have mentioned, it is much hotter in the city than it ought to be this late in autumn. There is just abnormal heat coming along. It's not cooling off like it should be. Trees are just withering in the long summer. It's taking far too long to cool off, and rain just isn't coming. It's as if the hells are around the edges of the city. So people are getting pretty thirsty. So you have quite a lineup by the time this is finished of people going into the Troll Skull to get food, and you are quite overwhelmed for a while. How will you be handling this once everybody shakes hands and Laerl gets in her carriage and heads back to the castle? How will you?
Cal- well, Cashin would say, God, is this a Kalimshan summer?
Varys would have actually slipped into the tavern early, nearing what he sensed was the end of the ceremony, but he was just making sure that, all the ale and such is chilled. There's plenty of ice to go around.
Very good. With this ceremony having happened at this time, I am going to add an extra day onto your 10-day that you would be rolling for on it. So you will have an extra profit of an extra day without costs. So you'll basically get the benefit of an additional day involved without any of the negative effects, because so many people are buying food and drink. You basically do an extra day's worth of sales in the inn at this time. So once you go in and once the rush is over mid-afternoon, finally you are able to usher the last person out, or at least have few enough people in the inn you're able to retire to more private quarters to start pouring out the till, as it were, to find out what your profits have been for the last 10 days. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add how many hours Cashin would have worked throughout all this.
Yeah, I will be asking you that in just a moment, because I'm going to be adding this up. Let me pull up a calculator. It's the easiest way for me to keep track of this. I'm going to go through each of you and ask you how many hours you have worked on the troll skull first. So again, I'll go across the pictures as I see them up there and make sure I get everybody. Epiphany, how many hours would you have spent in this 10 days actually doing physical work?
Yeah, they would have, on the days that we weren't out adventuring, which I don't know how many were in the last 10 day, but essentially about 4 hours a day, bouncing, kind of the lunchtime and the evening.
All right, so you
rush.
would have had 4 days in that time, let's see, I'm going to say 5, because you've had another 3 and it was already 2. So I will say at this point in time, you've had 5 days of downtime in that time. The rest of it has been
so
just
20 hours total then.
20 hours. All right, so 20 hours for him. Varys, how many hours have you been working?
Varys, during his downtime, would have been spending quite a bit of time helping out at the tavern. Busy days, it would have been only probably like 2 hours. Downtime days would probably be closer to like 6 or 7 hours a day.
All right, so if we have 5 days involved, we are looking at an average of maybe 4 hours a day.
Sure.
That close to right? So you've been about the same, so you'd be another 20. All right. Shepard.
On the off days, he would actually spend a lot of time because he would prefer not to be alone with his thoughts. So 6 to 8 hours on the off days, probably about 4 hours on the on days.
All right, so I would say you would average more like 6 hours a day. So 5 times 6 as I'm figuring is 30 hours that you would have put in. Let's see, Relian?
On the off days when we're not adventuring, between 5 and 6 hours. However, this time would be split up only between like the breakfast, lunch, and dinner rushes. On the on days when we just got back, he would probably only help out a little bit during the dinner rushes, so maybe an hour or 2 there.
All right,
so I'd say let's go with maybe 6 hours average.
Okay, so 5 times 6 would be another 30 for you.
Same with me.
Okay,
30 hours.
All right, 30 hours. And Nokri?
I would say probably. Not sure how. I'm trying to remember how much like off time I had in between everything. I would say maybe like at most 40 hours for the week, or 40 hours for the time.
Because
you
you've
would have,
had a lot of outside activities you've had to handle with
yeah,
paperwork and so forth. So yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if you count that towards like stuff for the tavern type deal, but no, I'd probably say it was more like uh 30, probably around 30 hours, just to be more a little bit more realistic. Because I know there was a lot of running around with stuff.
I will
We're
give
all
you 40 because
timers in our own inn.
I will give you 40 because you have had to handle all the papers and quadruplicate stuff dealing with the lords and the guilds and what have you. So I'm going to give you another 10 hours of running around the town on behalf of the inn and count that
Yeah.
as your work
And
as well.
for the total amount of advertising, because we had like the
Hold on
the
just a
parade.
moment. Hold on
Sorry.
just a minute because I want
Yeah.
to finish this
No worries.
calculation because I've got the hours and now I'm going to divide that by 8 for the number of
Mhm.
working days that you actually will get to put into this formula. So you'll be able to put in 21 working days into the formula. I'm going to type that in the chat so I don't forget it. All right, and now for the advertising. How much advertising money did you spend?
I would say probably no more than 20 gold. Because we had a lot of the festivals, so there was a lot of people walking the streets nearby. So I don't think now that the grand reopening is done, I don't think we needed to advertise as hard.
Correct.
Question mark.
And you will get plus it at this point in time you get an additional count per day for word of mouth advertising. So I will be adding 10 to that to make that equivalent of 30 gold in advertising because of word of mouth. You are having
Okay.
to spend less and less, and you are getting more and more word of mouth value for ads. All right, so we have those two figures, and I think I have the figures that are necessary for the calculation of this. So first I need to, this one, we spent the gold spent on promotion, the equivalent was 30. I turn that in. How much debts are you still outstanding? What has not been paid? You have 60 per 10 day that you have to spend. That is just normal upkeep. So that will be put into the figure that you'll have 60. What additional costs or loans are you paying?
Who? What? Who? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember because we have the loan from Mert, correct?
Yeah.
And I had the loan from my family.
I
Okay.
think those are the only two left outstanding.
Yeah.
So how much are you paying, would you say, per week, per 10-day week, are you paying for the payment on those?
I would say per week. Do you think 50 gold per each group? Just
All right.
make it even. I'm asking the rest of the group consensus what they think.
That sounds fair.
It's kind of that kind of decision is kind of up to you and Shepard. Like, how much of your earnings are you using to pay back these
It's
people?
normally more like 50 gold per month that you pay on the loans. So it would be divided by 3, roughly speaking, because there are 3 10 days in a month.
Okay.
So like 16, 17.
Yeah, let's call it 15 just to make it a little bit more rounded
Yeah.
to fives. Let's call it 15 for the 10 days that you are spending
Okay.
for each.
Yeah,
so that's
that works for
30.
me.
So the basic costs of salary and so forth is 60, and then the loan repayments is an additional 30, making it 90 altogether. All right.
Watch, we made 85 gold.
Right back into my pocket. What?
We will
And
we
then
will find pays nothing.
you have the modifiers of the day's work, which is 21. That is put in as actual investment into the business, so that counts against your costs. So I will now submit this. All right, your roll number is a 36, right?
Yeah.
All right, I now go to this. All right, you now also get one extra day, and I've got to do this. That was for a 10 days worth. Then I've also got to add. I've got to add a roll to that because you are getting one day's worth of profit without costs. So I will be rolling this again and dividing this second result by 10. So just hang on a moment. Let me do that again.
We got this, guys.
Well, now we don't. You jinxed us. I mean,
Can I-
36 after all said and done. I thought, oh, that's better.
That's an 87. Okay, so that will round. I'll round
That's a
that to-
67.
Oh, is it? I don't have my glasses on, so sixes look like
Yeah.
8.
Why'd you say something?
What?
I do
Oh.
not lie.
Nothing.
Anyway.
Honesty is a virtue.
Anyway, I will call that a 7. That is added to it. So that puts you into this category here. So I will need to do the last stage. That's this one.
Oh, we're at 43. If we had just had one less, we'd have the answer to everything.
Wow. Okay, not bad. The tavern actually made a profit of 275 gold pieces for the 10 days.
Woohoo!
Yay.
So you actually came out ahead this week. You did not have to pay for your costs. So divide that 275 6 ways.
Everybody gets 46 gold.
Okay.
Yep. Well, someone only gets 45 gold.
Call
Well,
it 40.
thank you for volunteering, Cashin.
Call it 46.
Screw you.
I just round. I don't worry about the 0.3. So you let's just call it 46 gold that you each get for the inn.
I mean, technically, Sam's not wrong because Cashin has been drinking profits from the inn. So then minus that gold.
Okay, leave.
Minus that gold.
That's a whole
Leave,
bunch of
leave.
that's a whole bunch of the cost of running the inn of that 60 gold that went in there.
Leaf, be a deal and run up CC's tab.
Turns
The
out
tab
that
on
the,
your
act-
life is
have-
about to run
I
out.
believe you have my profit.
the
Anyway.
actual cost of running the inn was only 20 gold. The other 40 gold was his drinking the profits up.
Oh God, I remember. I just have this image now of Noctri going up to Cash and says, "Okay, so 10 gold for the rum, 5 gold for the whiskey." I'm just imagining that episode of SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs charges SpongeBob and Squidward for mundane things like standing and breathing and tying their shoes.
Yeah.
So, oh no, what'll happen is because she knows this room door is booby trapped and whatnot now, she's going to slide a bill. That is your tab. She is legitimately going to slide a bill under your door and remind you, no more drinking in this tavern.
I
How much would you
remember
say the bill is?
I remember a comedy show on TV where the teenage son was like, "Hey, I've got a job. I've got all this money." And he goes, "Oh, so you're an adult and you're going to live your own life the way you want, right?" And the son goes, "Yeah, you're right. I'm 18 now. I can handle my own life. I don't need to do anything." And the father's like, all right, well, in that case, you need to pay rent, and you need to pay your portion of the electricity, and you need to pay your portion of the food, and you need to pay your portion of the gas. And oh, yes, the car that you're using costs us so much a month for the payment on the car. You will pay your portion of it. And oh, there's also this, and the garbage, and the sewage, and the water, and he goes on, the phone bill, blah, 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 all these things, and he hands the kid a tab for his portion of it, and the kid is now in the hole like $30 with his paycheck, and he's like, but I'm not getting any money, and he goes, welcome to adulthood. Yeah.
Passion's reply to the tab is it being crossbow bolted to her door.
We could enslave him
This
if
is
you wish.
this is.
Well,
Oh,
now she's got to
no.
give you a bill for damages.
Yeah, no, that actually is what I was
Oh
going to
god,
do.
this is just gonna escalate,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh, it is.
At
Oh,
on
which
track.
point, I will say, okay, the lines are drawn. We will go to neutral corners, and
yeah.
we
No,
will progress on.
this is the tale of a dragonborn and her money.
All right.
I have a
Alright.
feeling. I have a feeling if we trace Nakri's lineage far back enough, we would find Smog somewhere near the roots.
gnawing on them.
All right. So we've done the tavern profits. When the tavern isn't busy, you'll notice that Varys tends to keep a lot of time to his room. What he's doing is he's crafting kind of like a rope harness out of the rope that he threw in the ocean. And it's going to be very like crisscross pattern across his chest, and he's going to design it in such a way that he can attach the garments he purchased from the clothier to it. And it's going to
I
weave,
see why the soul.
Yeah.
rope. Okay.
Yeah. and he's going to weave like seashells and such into the harness. But he's not actually going to be wearing a shirt. It is the harness and then the actual raiment around his legs.
All right.
Is he going to have a kelp beard?
No, but I should have thought of that. And then
So-
just
That wouldn't be all that hard to get. Just go down and get some real kelp out of the ocean.
Quick question, Madam DM. Is the next session going to be us traveling to the party?
Pretty much, yep.
Well, what could be a fun way to close out this session is like we're all coming down and we're revealing our costumes to each
oh
other.
yeah,
And that's where I'm headed, actually, as we
Oh,
close
I'm
out
sorry.
tonight. Yeah.
Quit reading ahead.
What are you talking about? I'm not Ellie.
in that case,
For you.
since we are fully going on with the outfits, since I have mine a little bit described anyway, I'll just finish it out quick. The reason he went to the dye shop is he has golden highlights that he has put into his long hair, and he's also curled it. So it's not just falling down like an ocean. It actually resembles more like a shining ocean surf than an actual straight waterfall. And he has applied a smattering of face paint and glitter around his cheekbones and eyes
Very good. Very good.
to make it look kind of like a underwater hole.
Right.
He
Sparkly
finishes
water.
up the theme.
Sparkly water,
Yeah.
yeah. Looking out across the waves sort of thing that is going on. All right. So the group of you finish up the night. The inn also has a lot of people that are kind of hanging around talking, and you wind up with a reasonably good nighttime crowd as well in the inn. Several of the guards, not Captain Banders. He has been rather out of touch. You have not seen Banders in several days. You don't know where he is at the
Oh
moment.
no, he's dead.
Oh boy.
And he has kind of been missing.
Stop reading ahead.
But I'll tell the audience it's almost impossible for this crew to read ahead because it's all in here. So it's very difficult to read ahead. You will open your mind to me. But there, a number of the guards who seem to be getting off duty come in and are having their evening meal. Among them, I'm seeming to laugh with them, enjoying the conversation quite a bit. The group is pretty raucous. You notice two guards who have Castellanter livery on, so they are house guards of Castellanter livery, but they are in your inn and are enjoying the repast for the dinner thing. They actually seem to be drinking a substantial amount. They remain after the other guards head off for the barracks, and they are remaining and enjoying it. So it looks like the guards of House Castellanter are actually very much coming around and enjoying the inn after Nokri spoke with Amalia Castellanter. Perhaps the guards are taking more note of your place than before.
I am watching them like a hawk every time they are in the building.
Epiphany tries to enslave one.
Oh God.
Oh
I've got two
god.
more uses.
I'm gonna limit it to one per day so that I
One.
can keep up with
Okay,
it.
there's one per day. All right, yeah, then we're done. I'll make a note of that. Hey, I'll just sit there and drain their brains while
It gets late. What are you guys doing? As there are still patrons beyond the Castellanter guards. They are hanging around, telling tales. Some of the patrons who are not guards or whatever are sitting there helping them drink and listening to the tales. It seems to be just a jolly bunch that's going on here. But they're probably down to only like 8 patrons that are in the place now. And what are the group of you doing as the hour begins to get late? Are you going to do anything during the night? Are you going up to bed? What's going on?
I will stay down for the time being to see to it that the tavern is locked up for the night.
Very good.
So I'll
Cashin,
be at one of the back tables, just scrawling down, writing notes, taking notes of the thing. Just kind of like writing out lists of like things I need to get done before the next 10 days. Blah blah blah.
All right. Where is this list that you keep? Is it you keep it up on the wall or on the counter? Where is it?
Oh, it's just like a she just has like a sheet or two of paper in front of her, and she's just jotting notes.
Yeah, I'm just you're leaning on the counter, jotting notes. Basically,
Yeah,
what you're describing.
Just We're sitting at one of like the back tables that no one's using, and just kind of keeping an eye on things to make sure nothing goes wrong.
All right. I want a perception roll from Nokri, please.
Crap!
That's
not
pretty
terrible.
good.
That's not terrible.
You notice that as you had been looking at one of the papers, apparently one of the guards actually had gotten up and gone outside. Apparently has left. One of the guards still remains right up until closing time. He remains in the building, and he is actually the last person in the building. He does not leave at the time that the others wander out of their own accord.
I would have stepped out to see where that first guard had left to make sure he's not just like meandering
Skulking
around.
about.
Yeah, skulking about like he actually left down the street and is going away from the troll skull.
He is leaning with his back against the northern wall of your building.
So he's still there.
Yes.
I am.
I'll approach him. Excuse me, sir. Did you need help getting back to your residence?
Oh, a little tipsy, it's true, but I'm just waiting for Alphonse to get finished up in there. I wanted some fresh air, but I think we can make it home with each other's help. How about You go get him and we'll go home.
Very well. And I'll go ahead, head back in, wait like maybe 5 seconds, and I'll just like peek my head out to see if he's still there.
He is gone.
He's gone. That's when I go back out there and I'm looking for him.
You do not see him anywhere on the north side of the building.
The north side of the building has the stairway up to, I believe it was the second floor, correct?
It does.
I'm going to walk up the stairway to the second floor. Is it locked? Is it unlocked?
Let me take a big picture off if it's still on there. I want to make sure what I've got on here. Yes, let me take the big picture off of this so that that's not on there. And
I'll also state that I have the mace in my possession. It's in my...
And oh, and did Varys leave the box with me?
If no one else said,
that was what I
Good.
had assumed, was that you have the box. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Sure.
so yeah, Cashin has it hidden away.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. So when you go up, give me a perception roll, Shepard.
Don't fail me now, perception. 24.
Yay.
The entrance to the customer sleeping quarters is ajar.
The sleeping quarters.
The door at the top of the stairs into the rentable sleeping quarters is
The one I'm pinging.
I am going to slightly open it, and I'm going to try to stealthily move my way in, because I'm pretty sure I know my way around where it needs to be going.
If this was late enough, would it be reasonable to assume that, say, like Epiphany went up to their room?
that would be
Like,
it is. I'm describing closing hours, so yes.
yeah, so Epiphany would have already gone upstairs.
All right.
Nobody wants Epiphany to be the last thing they see in the evening.
Varys is also in one of the second floor guest rooms.
All right.
So, do you want me to give a perception check to hear anyone sneaking about?
In just a moment, I might, and I now need all of you to put your tokens in the location where you would be currently now. Your room, downstairs, in the inn, wherever you are, I need to have you properly located.
You're right here, Aurelian.
Get Vanders off the screen. Get
I'd probably be
Bjorn
heading out
off
the
the
last
screen.
the customers leaving. I'd probably be heading out the kitchen. So I'd say about around here, maybe.
Cashin would have retired to his room early to set up his home defense system.
All right, so everybody's in wherever they would be. And when you step into that room, Shepard, get that token just a little bit. You notice that the door into the actual sleeping quarters for the customers is now also ajar. You seem to be slinking along behind someone that is moving through these doors as best you can tell.
I would do my best to stealthily move across and gently open the door.
All right, I need to also check something here. Let's see, this is your room, right, Nakri? Oops, wrong layer. Yeah, that's your room.
My room is up here. Varys, I'm not sure if your icon's in the right spot because there is no way except through the one room.
Yeah,
You
that is
probably
a customer.
would have been...
Yeah, he probably would have been over in this set of rooms rather than the other one. Because all of these, I'm going to get a pointing device.
Point, point, point.
all of these rooms are accessed from that stairwell, and so this whole area is where customers can access. They cannot access any of this area. It is only the spiral staircase and up through, going out through here and so forth, that you can access that. So it's,
Yeah, they would have had to have walked past Knockery to get to the room you're in.
right.
Okay, so I'm even if so I would not have any chance of encountering this person
Not
since there's no access.
countering them, no, but you asked about hearing,
Yes.
and that would be a different matter. You would actually hear some sound of someone walking in the room next to you very quietly. And
I was
then
about to ask.
not long after that, you would hear a second set of footsteps coming. You don't know who's who, but you hear two sets of footsteps in this area on the room. Now, let's see, I'm trying to match the floor layers. I'm back on the wrong layer again. This is Shepard's room, that's Cashin's room. I'm also thinking about sound and where it will go. That kobold is no longer there. That was from a previous thing.
The smoke monster is back.
Yeah, right. All right, and you're
I
clear
was
up
going to ask.
on the fourth floor, Epiphany, so you are way above. So, all right, so I have a kind of an idea of where these things are all going.
I was going to ask, is this a joined fireplace?
Yes.
Okay, so does the footsteps I'm hearing, is it coming from the other side of that room, or is it coming from this room up to the side of it?
At this point in time, it would be coming from that room.
Varys is going to go over and look through the fireplace.
Give me a perception with disadvantage, because you're having to bend down and look through burning logs and so forth.
That's an 8.
You can, when you bend down, you can hear the sound louder. There's somebody moving around in there, but you cannot see what it is, or they are in very dark form or something. The room is dark on the other side, just lit with little glimmers of light from your side of the fireplace a little bit. What little bit is showing through to the other side. So there's just occasional glimmers of light in there, and you don't see anybody in there from your visual, but you can still hear footsteps.
Would I know that the room rental service is still unavailable, that at the time the Troll Skull Inn is still only a Troll Skull Tavern?
I believe so. We have not officially opened that side of the tavern.
Okay,
so yeah.
then no one should be prowling around in here. I'm
Not
going to
unless
wild
it's
shape.
one of your crew, right?
Yeah, I'm going to wild shape into a spider and crawl through the fireplace.
All right. Give me a dexterity save.
1 point of
There
damage.
is still fire going on.
Oh, there's a fire active?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
why I
Yeah,
was
that's why
describing
it's disadvantage.
yes, the fire is up in this thing.
Well, in that case, can I use control flames to open a window in the fire so I can see to the other side?
Are you able to do this in spider form? Or are you just looking through?
No, if there's a fire in it, I'm not going to turn into a spider and walk through it. I'm going to still be in Barrett's form.
Well, I will tell you that an 11 was not enough to make your perception roll, even if you didn't have disadvantage.
Eh.
No, it's okay. So, let me rephrase. I open up basically a window in the flames, and I still don't see anything, but I hear people walking around in there, or a person walking around in there.
Yes.
All right, then I'm just going to use control flames to put out the fire in the fireplace.
All right. The fire suddenly goes out, and the sound stops very suddenly.
And then I'm going to go through the fireplace.
And you are
And
a
I'm still
spider.
going through as well.
Yes.
All right. You're right in the room up there, and this sound is coming. You notice the door is open, and it is coming from this area here. So yeah. As both of you come through your various entry points into the thing. You see a dark, hooded form, looks humanoid, is leaving out onto the porch, platform, whatever you want to call it, balcony, wooden balcony that is out here. And Varys would have a better view of this person that has slipped out rather quickly and stealthily, has slipped out onto the balcony and is standing just outside the door looking up.
I would point to Varys. Point out to the outside.
Okay.
I shake my head and I start going up.
I start
Oh, wait, no,
crawling.
Yeah, you're a spider. I wouldn't know
Spider,
that.
yeah, you
Never
wouldn't,
mind.
you wouldn't,
I
you wouldn't notice
forgot
Varys.
he's not. I
Right.
forgot that. Yeah. So I don't notice Varys. I'll just keep walking.
Yeah, you go out, and as you open this or move to this door where you can see, he kind of pulled it slightly shut behind him, trying not to make noise of closing it, but just kind of tried to hide what he's doing a bit. You see this humanoid individual looking, it doesn't look like the soldier that you saw outside. There's something different about its appearance. As the cape kind of slides back, it reaches up and starts to climb the wall right by you, heading up.
Can Spider Varys see this too?
Yes.
I will use my Radiant Soul ability to have my angelic wings pop out, and I'll call up to him, "Would you like a lift?" And I'll fly up and try to grab him.
There is an expletive you can guess. I'm not sure your linguistics. There is an expletive that is let out by this individual in abyssal or infernal. Abyssal, right? That's devil.
Yeah, that would be infernal.
Infernal. I get the two of them mixed up all the time.
Infernal is devil, abyssal is demon.
Okay.
Right.
That is let out from this. It hisses at you and crawls faster up the wall. And what you see, let me see if they've got an image on their list. They might possibly have an image. Yes, they do.
Hooray!
Oh, that's
Trouble.
fun.
Wow.
Bearded devils are no good.
It's a shame my spider senses aren't tingling. Epiphany's up there playing like chess with themselves, using the beetles.
Well, like I said, I fly up to him and I'm going to try to grab him to
All right.
pull him off of the
So
wall.
I'm going to have all of you and the devil roll for initiative, because I'm just going to see who's moving where and when. And by the way, Nakri, I forgot to mention, when this loud expletive comes out, it is heard in the downstairs area. You can hear this awful sound. Does anyone speak Infernal?
Double checking.
I would
No,
know.
I just speak giant.
Would it be loud enough to hear where Epiphany is?
Yes, I would say one floor above,
You're above it.
one floor below, close within 20 feet or so. In any direction, you'd be able to hear it. So I'd say that you probably would, because it'd be almost directly below him.
Is the guard that was still loitering still there?
That's what I was just going to say.
I would like to surprise and run up to him to grab him.
He has shifted into the same form.
That's a good thing I never changed from the little gathering outside.
and he is already starting to move for the spiral staircase. All right, so let me roll their
Sorry.
various initiative rolls here and get the sheet up.
Miss Ruth, you asked who speaks Infernal. I speak both Infernal and Abyssal, so I'm good.
All right. So you would clearly know what this language was, and the fact that somebody is not pleased and has basically issued a verbal curse, not an active spell curse, but a verbal curse on this individual that is after him and shedding light on his activities. So we have, looks like it'll have to be, depending on who had the high, it looks
Wait.
like Varys had the higher of the tiebreaker rolls, so Varys will be going first.
All right.
Quick question. Since I am seeing this thing downstairs, is Relian close enough to me?
Yes, he would see it as
On
well.
the same floor.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to, just out of the reaction of seeing this thing change, I'm going to grab Relian's arm and cast Protection from Good and Evil on him.
All right.
Oh, Sugar Skulls, I'm flattered, but I don't think we know each other well enough. Oh, you're casting a spell.
Okay, Varys, what's the spider doing?
The spider is going to. Here's a question. Since I'm wild shaping. The Game of Thrones references continue.
Yeah.
It's not coming right because I'm literally a spider right now.
Anyways,
Oh my, you know what's even worse? I've got 2 little birds upstairs.
You sure do.
Oh no!
Oh God.
Anyway,
Hope no one here has a little finger.
since I'm wild shaped, I still keep my class features. Does that include the speed buff I get from being a monk?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so I'm a fast spider right now. Can I? How far up? You said he was climbing on the wall. How far up is he?
Just a little bit out of normal reaching range. If the shepherd flies, it wouldn't take him much to reach it, but his foot is, he is like climbing up and trying to reach a window that's above him.
All of the third and fourth floor windows have bars on them, right?
Well, Nokri said that she barred all of her windows in her room.
I would have included the bathroom as part of that, because I consider all of this like one
All right.
one thing in the room.
All right.
Just since I'm primarily using that bathroom, it's like
Yeah. No
Same
one
with
else can
Cashin.
use that one.
All right. So, but it is climbing for that window that you are guessing. It is climbing for this window here.
Varys is going to go outside with his speedy spider self, go outside, climb onto the bearded devil, turn back into Varys, and
and try to pull. Give me a strength. You're going to try to, basically it's a grapple off. It's what's doing here. Let's see. He's going to use his.
strength check or athletics.
It is. I always have to stop and think. It's athletics. Yes, athletics versus his choice of athletics.
That's pretty good.
Let me see what you got. Yeah, pretty good. Let's see what he rolls. Come on. Slow rolling here. Okay, he has plopped onto the balcony. You have pulled him down.
Yeah.
And
Gonna
he
go for
is
the stab.
currently being held by you. Your fists are grappled into what clothing he is wearing there.
Can I do a trident strike?
That isn't, grappling is an action.
I wasn't trying to grapple him. I was just trying to get on. Like I was trying to physically transform back into Varys on top of him and make a strike before I fell back down.
Oh.
I mean, I suppose things worked out for the best anyway. If I can't make my action to use a trident strike, then I use my bonus action to punch him.
Okay, that I would go with. The bonus action I would go with.
26 to hit for 7
Yes.
bludgeoning damage.
You
So-
definitely hit him.
So basically, what I'm picturing is Varys just comes out of nowhere, gets this guy in a headlock, and just decks him in the face.
I'm giving him the worst noogie of his life right
Yep,
now.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Avoid the
Yeah,
beard.
Okay.
that's me action and bonus action.
Cashin will have heard this commotion very clearly.
All right. Cashin will have gotten up from the fireplace and draws his blade, and he just dashes downstairs.
Okay. So you'd have to figure out your distance there. Hold on, you're doing a lot of moving. Figure out your
I know.
distance.
I already mapped out 42 feet, so
Okay. All right. Shepard.
So he's back on the balcony now.
Correct. He's at your feet.
And Varys has him grappled right now.
Yes,
Can I try to grapple him as well?
certainly. And he will have disadvantage on his strength roll because he would have to fight you off while he is fighting on with Varys.
-1 to strength.
He actually rolled 22 and 20. So he actually, his movement is, he is fighting so hard with Varys that you keep grabbing at air as you're trying to get hold of him. Okay.
Right.
Any other?
So then, bonus action, I am going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
All right. Let me pull out your hammer.
I have the scythe
Okay.
right there, and where's the here. Spiritual Weapon? Does
That is
a
a hit.
25 hit? All
It
right,
does
7
indeed.
force damage.
So he takes another 7 damage. All right, Relian, you see this individual change into an ugly thing with almost like snakes for a
About
beard.
Epiphany.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. I was looking at the green thing, I hadn't moved it. Yeah, Epiphany's next. Epiphany, you hear the commotion.
Okay. I hear the commotion. I don't know anything. Okay, would it have heard like it was more from the stairs or from this window?
You heard the cursing you would have heard would have been almost from below you. You would have heard it
From
out the
below me?
window and down.
Okay, so as a bonus action, Epiphany is going to cast Expeditious Retreat, and then will do a dash action to in total move 90 feet, which puts him about... I already measured it out. It puts him about here.
Okay.
So Epiphany just... Because I'm assuming that the stairs, like, they go to here, and then the end of this hall here is here? Is that it?
Yeah, it's that one right there. Yes.
Yeah,
that's
and then
the
it
first
goes
one.
to here,
And then
and then you
down,
gotta come around.
and to there to get down and around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a complicated labyrinth you guys
Yeah.
have got with
Okay.
the way the doors are now. So yeah.
Yeah, so Epiphany just...
and he would have met Cashin along the way, and they basically split up. He would go downstairs. He'd stay on the second
Yeah,
floor.
essentially, what you see is the door from behind you. There's just limbs pushing Epiphany down. It's just this face.
Yeah. Heading through.
God.
Okay. Relian, you saw this thing transform into a ugly thing with snake for beards. What are you going to do?
I would say, considering this thing is clearly not a normal creature, and I heard Infernal, I think really you can put 2 and 2 together what these things are. He is going to clap his hands together, and he's going to speak in Infernal. You are in my home uninvited, damned one. Let me show you what happens next. And I'm going to spend 2 sorcery points to activate Quicken Spell, and I am going to now spend 2 level 2 slots of Magic Missile as 8 motes of magical flame appear above Relian before shooting at this devil.
Very good. So roll your magic missile damages.
4. That's 1 and 2, 3, 4.
Okay. So what do we got here? Let me make sure I
5,
start
8,
this.
11.
28.
Thank you. You guys with the faster calculator brains than mine. I can do math all day. I'm
Ellie's
just
got a
not
math
fast.
brain.
Yeah, I'm just not fast. I can do calculus, anything you want. I just can't do it fast.
Yeah, you'd think I'd be better at 3.5. The numbers game.
Yeah. And you said how much was it?
28.
28 damage. Okay. He immediately takes this damage as he snarls at you and starts his movement towards these stairs. Nakri, what are you doing?
I am going to intercept and do what I do best. I'm going to tackle that.
Nakri becomes an obstruction.
Yeah, I am going to try
She is
to
the
slam.
wall.
I'm going to try and
Obstructing
charge that
justice.
into him and hit him into the wall.
Okay.
Nakri founds WWE.
Basically. All right. So what should I be rolling for this?
The Fire's Fury.
Basically, you are doing an unarmed attack, but I will give you +2 on the damage. An unarmed attack is usually 1, so you would be, if you hit, roll any weapon, because you've got proficiency with your fist. You're basically charging forward using your body instead of just your fist. So roll your attack with any weapon, and then it will be 3 damage if you did it, and he will have to roll dex to see if he's prone.
Yeah. I'll just do the one. I'll just do the Warhammer one-handed.
Okay.
Crap.
It moves with
Should've been a strength roll.
surprising dexterity and goes up and over the tables as you are coming at him, and basically manages to evade you as you crash into the wall behind him. So you're basically in a position kind of like this as he goes up and over the wall. So this is the upstairs one that is up with the other 2. He is going to try and let's see if he's going to try to stand up or not. Yeah, do you have anything else you're going to do?
Yes, I do, because I am that much of a jerk. I'm going to action surge this nonsense, and I'm going to actually grapple this bitch.
Okay.
Well, don't you get 2 grapples? You're level 5 now, don't you get
I tried
2...
to tackle it, missed, so I'm
That was one
doing the
action.
action surge
Now
for...
she's doing her second action.
Yeah, I'm saying you don't
It's-
need the action surge to get the second one.
Are you sure?
No,
Yep.
that's only when you attack.
No, fighter grappling can replace an attack action as part of it.
It's
Basically, when you take the
considered an
attack action,
it's considered
can-
a type of an attack. Yeah.
So, don't use it, or, like, that's the part I'm confused on.
don't use it. As a fighter, you get
Okay.
2 attacks when you take the attack action. The first one you exchange
Oh,
for
there it is, extra attack. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I got it.
First one you exchange for a grapple. The second one you can
Alright.
either attack with or exchange for another grapple.
Alright, so rolling for that, what do I hit again? Or should I just
So,
do the same weapon?
Are you drawing
Or-
your weapon, or are you trying to bodily
No.
slam him again?
I'm going to just restrain him.
Okay, so give me a grapple check with your athletics, and he will do a strength roll against that.
Oh, come on. Now time's gonna fail me? Son of a biscuit eater.
Now you can action surge.
At that point, I'll just beat the guy with the...
Just beat him down. Just beat him down.
And he
Yeah,
did beat,
well, I'm
he
trying.
did beat your roll.
He met it or bait it?
Sure.
He beat it. He got away.
Alright. Yeah, no. Now I'll burn that surge, because I intended to do it, but yeah, I'm gonna burn the surge, and I'm actually just gonna straight out attack him with the Warhammer, because I have it with me. It's just, you know,
Very good.
like, why game? Why are you doing this to
Remember,
me?
extra
Why?
attack.
You do get extra attack for your extra.
You get one more shot.
Don't throw away.
I am trying not to. God,
There we go.
There we go.
Hey!
Yeah,
let's see
finally,
if it
after
hits.
slamming, grabbing, and bashing, she
Oh, I'm
finally
not-
hits
yeah.
him for 7.
I'm I'm not letting this thing go. If he hits those stairs, we need to stop him from doing that.
Okay, so the upstairs devil he twists over. He doesn't try to break the thing. He just twists over, and as he rolls around towards you, Varys, with you on him, his beard comes to life, and all of the snakes rear up and attempt to strike you. And then it tries to use its, basically, it doesn't have room to use its weapon, which is a glaive. The weapon doesn't have enough room, but it tries to use its arm to hit you as well. So it is going to do a beard attack, and I'll just do a weapon attack, but it'll only be an unarmed attack. So the beard attack was 14, that misses, and the fist was 16, which
Also misses.
all right. So he is trying to roll over. He does not manage to hit you when he did it. The downstairs one turns to Nokri and does the same thing, only he has room for his glaive. So his beard hisses. There's this hiss as several snakes rise and attempt to bite you. And then he swings the glaive at you. God, I'm rolling worse than you are. So far, okay. He rolled nat 1 on the first one and a 24 on the glaive. So,
shoot, I had just put on that new armor that I don't have right now, so my armor class is a bit skewed.
yeah, he only rolled a total of 6 on the first one. His beard goes completely wild and actually bites him, but it doesn't do any damage to him. But the glaive does hit you for 6 slashing damage.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think we did the numbers, and it was a AC of 21 that you now have.
But I'm not wearing that
correct.
armor.
Oh,
That's
right.
the problem.
Right.
That's why I'm just quickly trying to, because I know
It's
what
still
armor
up.
I did have.
It's still at the
And-
blacksmith.
I'm trying to go back and switch it out for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
Cash.
I get it.
Varys.
Actually, yeah, Varys.
I don't remember moving that. How did it get past? There we go. Okay, Varys, thank you for keeping me where I was
You're
supposed to
good.
be.
Since his halberd is too close quarters to use, does that mean my trident is also too close quarters to use?
Okay, he's not using a halberd. He's using a glaive, which is
Or a
like
glaive, rather.
two-handed weapon. So flat on his back, as you've got him down and grappled, he can't get the room. You, however, are on top of him, and you have swinging room.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go for a full round of attacks.
Time for some monk bullcrap.
Now, if you are two-handed, I will rule that you are no longer grappling him.
That's fair. Okay, let me re-roll the damage on it. I'll assume in 20 hits. Let me re-roll the damage on that first attack then.
All right.
Actually, no, that is the... No, wait.
Just beat him down.
Isn't
1d6
it-
plus
Yeah,
4.
1d6.
Yeah, just roll the 1d6 damage, and we'll replace that. Okay, pretty much the same. So
I'll
let's
also take off the key point.
See, let me double check to make sure. I think they all hit. Yes, they all hit. So he took a total of 10, 20, 33 damage. He is already looking in really bad shape. He is beat to a pulp, and these snakes are just hissing and waving, trying to grab at you. So now, Cashin.
You gonna sneak up on my friends? I don't think so.
Speaking of sneaking, Cashin is going to duck through the fireplace, and seeing this little scuffle, jumps over Shepard and then lands a sneak attack strike. Quite literally a surprise strike.
You said that this devil is prone?
Yeah.
That means you would get advantage?
Yes.
Right.
Tactical advantages.
21 hits, and you have just removed him from the playing board. This devil dies as you attack him.
Just sink the blade into his throat.
Okay. So you have a dead devil on your porch. Why did that? That's.
Varys looks up at Cashin, who has appeared, and says, "You know, I'm much more okay with killing devils than killing people."
Oh, certainly. Now, let's see if our friends downstairs are all right.
All right, Shepherd.
There's another one downstairs if this was the castle enter I was following. I am going to go ahead and use the dash action to fly down. I would assume I just essentially make it to the porch.
Yeah, you basically would make it to the front door sort of thing.
And then I have a question, because I know you said that in order for me to attune to the mace, I have to destroy the what's it called, the statue. So I know we can't use it as a key. Does that also mean I don't have access
You are not
to its extra
attuned to
damage?
it. That's right. You are not attuned to it.
So I don't have the extra damage to it then.
Right.
Hey!
It's just a mace at this point, so you can use whichever weapon you choose. But it does not have its magic properties at this point.
Okay, so okay, that's all I was asking.
That's what attunement means.
So yeah, essentially then I just make it to the doors, and then I see the ruckus going on, so I don't even need to worry about yelling. And that ends my turn.
Epiphany?
Okay, we're gonna juggle some concentration here. So I'm gonna use my bonus action dash to get to here.
Okay.
And then I will use my regular movement to get right up next to this thing.
All right.
And so
you haven't used an action yet. Yep.
I haven't used an action yet. So what Nakri and Relian see is Epiphany just like
yeah.
And there's just they just let out like this howl of rage because they heard Infernal.
Right.
And so they see basically limbs and a mouth rush towards this thing, and Epiphany's going to cast their version of Vampiric Claws, Extracting Claws.
Okay.
And just big old claw comes out, black, extended, dripping ichor, and try to slash him across the face.
Okay.
And miss!
You miss. You were moving so fast that you just kind of
mad and angry.
Yep. But Relian's right there. What can Relian do?
Relian is going to move over here, so we're kind of surrounding this thing on all sides, and he's going to call out in Infernal again, and I know Epi hates it, but he's got to, put salt in the wound for this thing. He's going to yell out, "Eyes on the dangerous one, you fool," and he's going to magic missile at the 3rd level.
Okay. 10, okay. 10, 15, 21, 23. That is enough. You have taken out the second one. He is dead.
All right, so Cashin says to Varys, see if that thing has anything useful on it. I'm going to double check on our items, and he just makes a mad dash for the upstairs.
Well, I'm gonna check to make sure everyone is okay downstairs first, but then I'll do that. And Varys, he drags the body into the room, so it's not just sitting out on the balcony, and he closes the door behind him. And then he sprints back through the fireplace and down the stairs to arrive at the bottom floor, where they are cleaning up the other demon.
Varys, you missed it. I blasted this thing into oblivion.
Oh, great! I punched one into nonsenseness, and then Cashin killed it.
All right, now we are running out of time. Went a little bit long, but we're running out of time. You find only guard weapons, normal guard weapons on these things. They were actually carrying real weapons, though it
Sorry.
appears that the appearance of looking like a guard was an illusion. The weapons themselves appear to be normal guard weapons.
Do they happen to be marked with the Castellanter crest?
No, I think that's what she
The
means.
armor.
No, the armaments are normal weapons, but yes, they are marked with the
Oh, they are.
C crest.
Okay,
C, a
we
goose,
Summon the guards.
Okay, we've got the corporeal forms of two devils in our in
Give us
right
a little
now.
bit of validity.
But
Right.
who would believe us?
The open lord.
Let's let Ruth talk.
I'm going to leave this last little bit of what you're going to do with these bodies or how you're going to present it for next week. But I am also going to give you just a couple minutes to describe what creature what godly creature you're going to be, unless you want to put it into next week as we start out.
Next
for that
week.
one.
We can do it next
I
week.
think save it next week, yeah.
Yeah, I'll save it for next week.
Mhm,
We'll we'll start it off with the montage of everybody's.
All right. So you can complete with these devils and what you are going to do about them. We won't act on it, but you can say what you've decided to do on them.
I am going to put my vote down for summon the Blackstaff.
Yeah, there we go.
Mhm.
Summon the Blackstaff. And
I'll put a renown to that if it gets her here faster.
Yeah,
I
same here.
can animal messenger her.
then as long as
Do
it
that.
is, yeah, I would do that. Who else could we get
Layroll.
in? Huh?
Anybody who works for Layroll.
But we don't know anyone. Ooh.
Would Jelester technically count?
Let's get Jelester here. Jelester and the Blackstaff.
All right.
Because this is now, because these things
Oh, we have
have,
evidence.
yeah.
I believe we call this giving the group a bone.
What about Mert? Do we want to get him involved on this one or
Actually,
no?
yes. Yes.
Get Merton. Okay, so
He's a
Mert-
confidant of Larell as well.
yeah. Okay, so
How many of these animal messengers can you do?
I can only do one.
All right. So
okay, so
that's one of them.
Blackstaff is most important.
How are you doing the other two?
I can run pretty damn fast.
I would say Blackstaff is most important because she's the one.
Yeah.
or have Blackstaff pick up Mert and Jelester.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
To have
There
them travel. Have them travel as a group. That way, it's safety in numbers.
All right. So you send a message by animal messenger, basically telling her that there's been an attack on the inn, and
Yeah.
that you have proof she would be interested in. Bring Mert, bring Jelester.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that's where we will begin next week as we actually get ready to head for the Castle Enters. So it will.
It's all
be,
coming to a head.
It's a white head.
Pop that thing. It has been an interesting evening. I will see you next week. Final word from Relian. What you got?
Bye, everybody. And remember, if you're going to be friends with me, there's this one simple rule you've got to follow. Don't lead, I'll wander off board. Don't follow, I'll get you involved. Walk beside me and help me come in trouble.
That's a good one.
Sounds about appropriate.
Rules
Yeah.
he lives by.
See you next week. Good night from Crone's Crucible. Thanks for joining us.
Goodbye.
Screwed up.